up to the desk in a quick little second here, but Jensen stopped selling, or he's done selling. Wow, what a move to the upside on, look, a lot of names. Obviously, NVIDIA was leading the charge. Well, next fill positions will come in here, but...
Positions are in for me.
Well, yeah, well, the next fill for myself, I guess positions will come in.
When they come in for both of us, I thought. Oh.
You know what, it's weird like that. So apparently, again, it's just the way it works here. Like, each of us have to take a fill, but I'm on the bid of ARM and Intel, so the first one to come in is probably going to update the position. But I can show you, when we talked about the lesson of the day here, when I was sort of saying pick on the thing that wasn't breaking highs, I did do that in ARM, and I'm kind of right back in on the same level because NVIDIA just continued to go. It did eventually break the trend line. As I said, I was fighting it, and then I eventually waited for it to break the trend line for that one short, and then got that one out break even. So like that's the one that didn't stink, but the rest of it did. It's still trending higher, but you've got a bit of a topping tail candle in the curl. I went back over to, Intel can't seem to hold above 23, and then ARM, which you saw never made any fresh highs, but it's been a big time reversal. It was like mean craziness if you weren't watching in the middle of the day. I got up for 15 or 20 minutes from the desk and sat back down, and NVIDIA had gone like $2.50. So big time movement over there on NVIDIA. It's not everything that's going in this move, and I know we'll get to some of the individual names once we're doing our, our little rundown of the tickers that you guys want. But Tesla, which was really strong at the open, underneath VWAP, lagging this move, and a lot of what's happening right now, just to go over, because I don't think we're going to talk about Bitcoin. I'll throw to Sean in a quick little second. But BTC went all the way up to this 64 and then drew back. So I got my eyeballs on Mara pulling right into some resistance from before. But yeah, what a crazy move. Bitcoin essentially tagging 64,000 and reversing. Kind of a topping tail candle on the 15-minute for Bitcoin.
All right. Look, we'll talk about, there it is. What's up, everybody? We'll talk about the successes and the failures of shorting NVIDIA, but right now we're short again, right into here. We just keep on covering. We're just taking like small little cuts back on this name as we were shorting it. We let it go. We were short here at the beginning. This is when the day was last year. I'm assuming NVIDIA is going to be on this list. All right, let's go over to Sharif and we'll start going and running through some names.
I just want to welcome everyone to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Make sure to check out the How to Trade show with Adair and I and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers, and the big kahunas will look at it for you during this afternoon rundown, so let's shut them out. Let's start here with a look at the futures contract. Here is the the triple Qs. What a recovery here on this market. Obviously we're selling off aggressively to start the day. Then the NVIDIA pump came in fast and furious, and that really helped take the market up. All the indices right now in the green, the Dow, the ES, and the Russell, as well as the NQ, all in Greensville. I got to tell you, though, the Dow was flipping and flopping between red and green. We'll have to see how it closes out on the day. But TSLA, your number one ticker, ironically, and it gapped up quite aggressively, but been very ziggy-zaggy. No headline specifically to Tesla today justify the move, but looks like they're working on FSD guys for the Cybertruck.
Yeah, in 3 weeks? 3 weeks. No, sorry, 2 weeks. 3 weeks to earnings, 2 weeks essentially, just over 2 weeks till the Cybertruck, Robotaxi announcement. Cybertruck, Robotaxi announcement. Look, Tesla was on a tear yesterday. It was on a tear earlier on today, and all of a sudden, it's like the languishing name. And that's a weak term for something that's up $1. But with that reversal in the market, it was almost as if there was a seed change where Tesla was leading things early on. It broke out to 55. It didn't quite dip into that 50 level at the open, and then did it later. That was a miss. You know what? I'll get to that in a second. But the 255 break and then the retake, it gave one chance for myself on this bounce in. I have a 3-minute up, but it did bounce initially off VWAP to get 55s even. When it failed at 57, that was a trailer looking for a VWAP retrace. Just should have looked at that as a bit of a reversal, because the second it was through, it turned into immediate resistance. And on the other side, if you're not in, I said this before, if you like the 250 level and you're not in it on the way down, when it makes the reversal, it's that punch back through 50. It holds the low, and then the punch back through 50. That was pretty darn good there on Tesla. Right now, kind of languishing, so I feel like that 55 is resistance until proven otherwise on Tesla. But still looking good on the daily chart. Just starting to run into some resistance, 60 to 65, it feels like, on Tesla.
Look, I mean, to have replayed this day, here it is on here. It's on the sticky note. It is the Tesla 255 long break. It is still, even though the market has gone up, down, around, everything, it is still the #1 trade of the day right here, P&L-wise. Huge break up to 256.50. It went up $1.50 for us, and then it dropped back in. We got out of it, and we've left it alone. Tesla, still the P&L #1 on a long, if you can believe it or not. So I don't know, man. I'm frustrated here today. I can't wait to go talk about NVIDIA next.
What a rocket ship, Sean. Look at that. I mean, anybody who's watching today during the midday saw that. Yeah, NVIDIA shares trading higher on reports that Jensen Huang is finished selling the company's stock under the trading plan that he had filed. What a move up. The market really liking that, not feeling that there may be any downward pressure going forward. Shout out to the OG. He's flexing on all of us.
Yeah, this man is, it was something that was like 20% of all NVIDIA employees are more than $5 million in assets right now. So it's absolutely crazy. Okay, look, NVIDIA was really fun, right? It's going to be hard to see what we did early on. We can talk a little bit about it. We were long 115s, right? I mean, we were trying to get long off of that area. Once the market broke at, early, we started going short. The short was fine, and look where we got out. Like, unbelievable, the fact that we got out at VWAP and just, okay, we'll just, all good. Okay, good. All right, so there it is, 116.50 right there. Getting out at VWAP and then going a little bit higher. That is the trade for me. Should have respected the fact that we were going long. But the one thing that we noted was not getting in at all on the way up. We could see that it was going, we patented this meme crazy. You guys know I was talking about it. Whenever I watch NVIDIA and it starts to do that stuff, I'm like, this is going meme crazy. We didn't do anything until 120. Well, the problem was, it was fine. We shorted a little bit. We were able to get some out, but then it wasn't. And then we let it go again into 121 and got stopped out. We had some good takes back in as well, but still at the end of the day, more stop outs. We have one stop out up there at 121.50. Since then, we've just been going back and trying to get the short. Look at it, respect the 50 period moving average. This will be a stock that we're down on here today. And it's too bad because, we have 115 written here. We've had it. I said that thing this morning. We had it written down pretty much every single day all week. And today, again, it's absolutely huge. That 115 long is absolutely huge. And the fact that we're down on it is quite frankly embarrassing. But I do have something pretty cool to say, and this will be good for Sharif. The last I looked, man, we have one positive trader today, and it is Mr. Sharif. So congratulations for all that trading, man. It was tough getting going through here. We gotta, we can't just say, good days, bad days, but that was a good one there for Sharif. So I'm not sure what you were trading on the midday, but congratulations on that one for Apple. The day keeps Sharif in Greensville. I guess that does not rhyme.
Yeah, and that's what you try to do. Like, ultimately, I'll tell you, I went green to red on NVIDIA. Like, NVIDIA was actually an upstock for me when we were going long on it. And then, we talked about this in the middle of the day, and I kind of started with this as well and did this as a lesson. All you can try to do, if you're in the spot, like I sat down and it was already kind of gone, and I didn't see any news, wasn't really sure what was going on, except it just looked like, as Sean said, was going meme crazy. That's what waited for 120 and 121, much like Sean did. Control the losses. Should have gone over to ARM sooner, I think. Like, that would have been the more sensible pivot. Like, again, it's just find something that while it's breaking out, or if the stock that's leading the charge is making highs, or you think is at a level that's making highs, and something following it has already pulled back. So when NVIDIA made that first pullback at 120, ARM was here. And then when NVIDIA was pulling back again or attempting to pull back at 21, ARM was making a lower high. So lower highs, just a little bit weaker of a name, go over to a little bit sooner. They try to minimize the amount that you lose on that compared to what you think you can win on something better. About 1-to-1 on these two. But if I don't trade NVIDIA and just look for the weaker name, I think I also said SMCI. I actually haven't checked to see what SMCI is doing. Yeah, I mean, SMCI, when we're talking the lesson of the day, SMCI was the other example. So both ARM and SMCI have put in lower highs at these same levels. And it's just a lower hanging fruit, like something that is following the charge, but not making fresh highs when NVIDIA was. You go to that a little bit faster, and then you should be good to go. So ARM, I am bidding in the 143 mid or quarter range. And Intel, the other thing, Intel is at the $22 level. Here, I'll show you Intel, sorry, $23 level. Cannot seem to hold above the high. Every time it's gotten back underneath 23, I've jumped back into it. So you try to and you want to always pick on the weaker names. It's easier said than done because the mean reversion is a lot more mean to the downside on a name that's gone higher. You got to pick and choose which trade you're going to make. I just feel I should have gone to ARM sooner because I saw that it wasn't making fresh highs and could have jumped to that, but took one extra trade in NVIDIA.
Interesting look today on Palantir, guys. Yesterday it gets downgraded by Raymond James and has a hell of a day, makes almost brand new highs. Today it gets this, a #1 vendor in AI data sciences. That's being given out by the Dresner Advisory Services for Palantir. And it sells off. But look at this, guys. We definitely held that support level from yesterday, even a little bit higher, coming back up on the day as Palantir down 2.5%, but well closer to the highs, guys. All-time.
Yeah, all-time highs. Well, no, not. I mean, all-time highs are still above 40, but yeah, 38.20 right now, 52-week high for Palantir. Yeah, like we left that one alone. Like surprisingly enough today, we didn't really pay too much attention to Palantir. Okay, 36. Yeah. So again, exactly right there. What Sharif's talking about, getting into that, and I just want to let Sharif know that like a lot of love in the chat, like congratulating Sharif on his positive day. And again, we can't be. We have to go both ways, right? We'll tell you guys when it's a success and when it's not. Today, Sharif, good one. Okay, so 37.50 to the top angle there. I mean, I think that's going to be a short, the 50-period moving average on the 20-minute chart. But until we get to there, it's a no-brainer that you got to go long next time you're at the 200-period. Look at the 200-period moving average. I mean, it doesn't get touched at all until it was support and then support again here today. So right now, you're at 36.75. I feel like if you drop down 25 cents from here, then good on that. 36.75, I think that's a good area. 36.50 being the bottom, 25 cents one way or the other. I am a bull on Palantir down near the 36.50 area, which is the 200-period moving average. And honestly, guys, I have to address some of my trades. Right now, I'm going to take another piece. Ooh, I just put a bid at 25 there on NVIDIA. So all we're trying to do is kind of just get back a little bit of what we lost shorting all the way up. And we didn't even really short all the way up. I mean, we were very, very patient with NVIDIA. I'm bidding now 25s. Still not filled. Okay. Now filled. All right, there it is. So a nice little trade there. Like, see how we're sneaking in like 40-cent winners here? But remember, we're just trying to piece these names out as we battle back. Right now, Trump talking right now. Yeah. The TQs is also a great trade, but we're going to get over the SPY right now with Sharif.
Quickly, let's go back to Palantir for a second because we left we left you guys on the morning show with, and I only like two things on Palantir. The bigger one being 35.8, and I still like 35.8 on Palantir, but it did tag yesterday's bottom at 36.5. And this is the trade that Tesla should have been, like wipe out bottom, consolidate over 36.5. I trailed out of it. Actually, what was weird about it is I'm pretty sure, I don't remember exactly what direction, I'm pretty sure I heard Adara get into a trade like right as I was getting trailed out of Palantir. It's now across VWAP. I think it's got some strength in here. If it can hold on to VWAP at this point, with the market looking a little bit weak, I think if this holds on to VWAP, you can get another leg into the upside. It's down 2%. You can't call a stock that's down 2% strong relative to the market, but this is as the market is rolling over off of highs, Palantir is going in the other direction. So when the market was going up, Palantir going down. When the market's kind of coming back in here in the NASDAQ, Palantir is going up. So relative strength over there in Palantir. I just took some arm out in front of that 143 1/3, and then same thing with Intel, just sort of as it's trying to come back down off the 23 level back into VWAP. So I've been willing to get out every time it breaks out above 23, and then just jump back in when it's back underneath the 23 level on Intel. So this one working back down into VWAP as we speak, but let's get on to the SPY.
Yeah, a lot of different headlines today in these markets, guys. Obviously, material sector rallies on China stimulus, the Chinese ADRs, most of them, guys, in double digits. You had the NVIDIA surge that popped the NQ midday as we got wind that Jensen was done selling under his trading plan. We also got the 2-year note at 1 o'clock. It really didn't move the markets all that much. The SPY in Greensville, guys, but barely.
So we'll go half-half. Like, one winner is a chicken dinner winner, one is not. And it's just going to be one of those days again for the TQs. I mean, there's that NVIDIA move. We tried to short into here, man, 71, right? We were looking at 20,200. We sort of talked about that as a high, and eventually that came in, right? We put this note down yesterday. I can show you the sticky note, 20,200. That was the high. So we absolutely nailed that again right there. It's only down 50 handles, though. Let's wait to see if now we can pull back. But again, out here, lost into day's high. I just didn't believe the move. I mean, I already talked about it with NVIDIA, but we saw that move go up. We were very, very patient. We started it at the 200 period. Eventually, we get shut down. Some winners in there, but not really, in and around $71. Some 20-cent wins. But then these have all been right now. Alert, alert, alert. We finally get to a key level. And we said stay focused and stay patient. And I mean, we did that. And now we're here. So this was a good little short there for the NASDAQ. This is 20,200. We just talked about that right here on the actual minis. So right there. So that was a level. And there's the TQs trade. So again, a good one. We sat here and got filled right here before at 45. That was nice. It bounced back. We just had a wick down to 35. I'm only bidding 40s right now. I actually wasn't even on the bid for that wick down, focusing a lot on NVIDIA right now. So anyways, that's the trade right here. We'll see if we get some more out. I think we could retrace back in. Market's coming back here. That NVIDIA really carried the day. Let's now see if we can lose a little bit here in the broader market. So we're short the NASDAQ one more time. Going to get a piece out, and then we'll hold half of what we have. So there it is. Now we're out there. That's a good one, man. That's another 70 cents on the TQQs as NVIDIA and the market finally starting to pull back down.
And the thing is that we keep saying this on the SPY. The SPY is still at the topping end of this range. We made the fresh high on the SPY, pulled back, held on to previous tops. Yeah. That's right in here, about 565 or so on a dip. And then the last couple of days, we've just had inside days. So you have the breakout to the high, the pullback into the prior high, 565, and we are in an inside range on the SPY with like a 72 top and a 65 bottom. So you have this percent move essentially on the SPY where we're just going back and forth. Today made a higher low, so I suppose, that's pretty bullish, making a higher low, obviously, back into that high. But until we press through the top, part of the issue and why you're not pressing through the top is like, okay, this morning Tesla's going up and NVIDIA is going down and Meta is weak, and then you get a bounce in NVIDIA and the chip names, and Apple was under VWAP and Tesla was also weak. So you're never really getting everything going together in this range. So as long as we're range bound, it is very much so, like in this range specifically, it is very much just individual names and their own trend, sometimes a sector as well. But the SPY can't seem to break away. It's like 1.25% range on the SPY the last few days. No break in either direction. Once it does, up or down, especially down, I think there's going to be a bit of a nice reversion coming in.
Yeah, Apple up, barely 0.25% here. Not too many headlines with respect to Apple, but Needham coming out today reiterating their buy on Apple and maintaining the same price target, $260. Separately, I was watching on YouTube yesterday, Marquise Brownlee reviewing the Apple iPhone 16. Mixed reviews, guys. He says it's good as a device, but it's incomplete because it doesn't have that Apple intelligence. We're still expecting that next month.
I would just immediately stop watching that podcast because, that's obvious. We already know that that's not happening. It's not actually happening till March, not next month. There's no AI coming at all, I don't think, until 2024. Maybe I need to watch the podcast. So I would just say we're on Apple. Okay, so Apple today, we have a trade on it. And again, it was just sort of a tale of different days. We didn't trade it at all while the market was coming back in right there. So Apple was a huge short off 230 early, right? Like to be able to see that would have been awesome. Down to 225, like you don't really get $4 like that in Apple, and it was pretty consistent downside. All the moves up were getting hit. All right, and then finally we said, okay, well, let's play the bump back up. So it comes back up, and then look at these shorts, man. 227.30, 227.15. These outs are 226.70. So again, we have 40, 50, 60, 70 cents for winners down there. Then it came back up, and it's all at the same time. Like, this is why I'm saying about today being frustrating a little bit, because we only really did this on 3 names. We did it on NVIDIA, Apple, and then the market. We got away from the market and reshorted it. On Apple, we weren't able to do much, man. We brought it all the way up, got shut down, took more shorts, got it back to VWAP, got out before eventually taking an L there again. So despite us making good coin rate here, we turn around and go red on Apple. Like I said already today, it's a tough day. Well, I've already discussed it for our office, but for me as well, as Apple there goes to the upside and now finally comes down and we don't have any of it. Glad we have NVIDIA, but hey, man, we did lose today on Apple. We'll give back a little bit here. I'm probably down like 2 times a normal day for myself. So that's a problem, obviously. When you're only making $400 a day and you're down $800 the next day, that's not a very good ratio. So we'll continue to work on this. And we got some positions on board right now, so let's not let's not give up hope here. We are going to be joined, it looks like maybe Brendan might be on desk as now. I don't know if we've told everybody. Did you guys mention on the Midday show?
No,
gone for
I don't think we
days?
did.
Oh, you forgot?
Yeah.
Okay. ADR is now gone. Not forever, but just until, I think it's Monday, isn't it?
I think she's back next week. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's back all next week. So it's funny. They can talk about
It's next man up.
literally every random thing, but
Except the thing
not
that's happening.
that. So there it is. So Brendan will be joining us. If there's any breaking news, we also do have the Benzinga Pro in our ears. So we will be dropping that down whenever and wherever appropriate. So yeah, we're short Neo. Yeah, go ahead. We're done.
Oh, so just so you know, there was a bunch of comments that have been sort of coming through. We had a few from Trump about tariffs, and then there was this Apple retail workers. I'm only saying this because Apple was the story. Apple retail workers in Oklahoma City win first collective contract with the CWA.
Waiting for that.
So there was a little bit of a move here on Apple. I'll just show you. Like, there was a little bit of a move when that happened. It was already underneath VWAP. So like, I'm going to talk about, my trade was a short in front of VWAP, and then it kind of broke back out. Kind of a boring trade. But on the daily chart, I think could have sniffed this one out. We did mention the reversal candle the other day, right? The topping tail candle on Friday. And then here's the issue, like topping tail candle, there's your resistance. Resistance again at 229.5. It goes right into 229.5. Now, the problem with that trade, I think you guys, when this happens at 9:30 and you get a move like this, good luck being short Apple at that top, unless that's the stock you're looking at. Like if you're looking at, in that moment, NVIDIA and Tesla were on the radar for me, then if you're not paying attention to Apple, you're not going to catch that. But if Apple was your focus, hey, let's look at that topping tail candle, let's revert that. I was also looking at DJT in the moment. That's the only way you're going to be able to catch it. I just heard something about Novavax in my ear. That's a squeeze name. Is it doing anything? Volume? Yeah, Novavax going through the highs. See, this is Novavax vaccine gets Canadian approval. Oh, really? We're not that big. I say this every single time. Like,
I mean, as the new mayor of Toronto, we have now approved the new NVAX vaccine right there. So
we're not quite a big enough market.
No, but you know what?
I mean, it's not nothing. It's not bad.
No. Watch what you say about my city, man. Okay, the thing about all of this, though, is I actually have another great update. Not just about NVAX or the mayor, but we have one from Trade the Pool. So Trade the Pool is now, it's even easier to get funded. As you know, Trade the Pool built a unique program to evaluate stock traders like yourself and provide you with company funds to trade. It's real shares. You no longer need to worry about the PDT rule. But that's not all. I have some more exciting news for you today. Trade the Pool has introduced a new tier with 20,000 in buying power, making it even easier to pass evaluations, speeding up the process of getting funded much faster. That's right, it's that simple, and it works. You don't need to miss this opportunity. Scan the QR code there, hit the link in description for more information. And we are also on a prop floor here as well. You can check out Real Trading, unfortunately not available in the United States. So have your choice there. Pick your poison with those prop floors, and that's what I've been doing now for, 20-something years. Okay, so let's just continue on with this rhetoric of what will the market do. And I don't know. what it's going to do. So I'm just going to sit here and go short NVIDIA until it breaks 122. This seems like it's a crazy, crazy idea, but we are getting out of it. Every time it dips down, we are taking more and more profit. We are trying to make sure that we get like a one-to-one trade on this, right? I mean, this was a decent spot there that we put on. We put that on against that high rate there. It's been holding that. So we have the trade there. We have no stop out. So since noon, this is the thing. Like I want, Erie was like, oh man, whenever it's dark outside, it's like always, harder to, people aren't smiling as much. People aren't as happy. I said, I hope I'm not giving that impression. He said I was not. So that was good. But I also don't want to give the impression that we're actually losing here on NVIDIA right now. I mean, this is since 12 o'clock. This is 12 o'clock right here. Winner, 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 chicken dinner. I mean, we're still in this trade. We've now had 4 back-to-back winners on this stock. It's just, this was kind of like just battled it back and forth there. So we could still get positive. We just need to figure out what's going to happen, and it needs to go to the downside in order for that to happen. Because some of these hits here, 50, 60, 70 cents, and they just kept on going. So a lot of them are on more shares. Every time we keep getting out here, it's on partial shares. So we'll probably reload, well, we will, not probably, we will reload it at the top here against 122, and let's just hope for the best, I mean, honestly. So that's going to be the trade right there for us on NVIDIA. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I will, but we have bids breaking through 121. I don't have any bids above 121 right now. Let's wait to see if we can get a downside play. And then really, I mean, let's go. I mean, this is a big one right here. This is the futures. We talked about 20,000. Someone asked me in the chat there, what was the process with this? I hope it was with this anyways. And we had nailed levels from yesterday, 20,200. We talked about we wanted to wait for that level. We actually talked about that during the day, like when we were here before the market opened, that if there was going to be a short, it would be up here. Well, we didn't expect that to come through. So what we did was we shorted in the middle here back into the days range off the open. That didn't work. And then eventually we put the short on there. So I use the TQQs just as that vessel. It's $70, a little bit cheaper than the Qs, obviously. I know there's a lot of traders in there that can trade against this position, either with the SQ or the TQQ. Plus it's triple levered. So you can get, not that you'll get bigger moves in the Qs, but faster moves, definitely. Like this will go from 1% to 3% faster. So I like that fact. And then there's what I was talking about. There's the loss midday when we were ripping and we just trying to play off of the support and resistance that we made off the open there. Once that level was broken, you can see right here, we got out, which was a great. And then finally 20,200. Look, you can't be a real trader and just throw around shares like that. You have to wait for spots, which is why I was a little disappointed in NVIDIA. But anyways, we waited for our spots. We're back into this name. Let's see if TQQ can be that name for us. But right now we're just double barrel short, and we've been making back a decent amount here, what we lost today. But we also lost on Amazon, which we'll talk about after as well.
Yeah, I want to get to Unity here because I just asked Brennan what's going on with the stock. I couldn't find anything specifically on Unity in Benzinga or any other source. Up 6.5%, so it doesn't need a reason to be going up, but it just made a topping tail candle, as you can see at 23. So fail breakout through 23. It looks like a little bit of a trend reversal is happening here on Unity. This has been on a tear already. Let me zoom out the daily chart so you can, already broken through and held at 50-period moving average. I guess, there we go. Approaching the 200 period as it kind of fills in here. 24, 25 is going to be some natural resistance on Unity and maybe already running out of steam as maybe the market pulling back is going to cause this more than anything else. Let's see how it responds to the previous high at 22.5, but it feels like it already made a topping tail candle. I was never thinking about shorting it, but I saw a few people say, hey, what's going on with Unity? It is on fire to set upside, but I don't necessarily love that topping tail candle. Where is Tesla? Nope, Tesla is not going to get to VWAP there, it looks like. So Tesla's twice now gotten a 253 change at VWAP and reversed a little bit. So I'm in ARM and AM. We're in ARM and Intel already working to the downside, but I am looking for things that are a little bit weak. The other thing is, remember I mentioned Bitcoin at the outset kind of curled at that 64,000 level, while Mara went all the way to the same spot, same top it's been putting in for the last week or so. Like 16.5 to 16.7, then there's 16.6, 6, 16.5, and then again here 16.5, lower highs being put in on Mars. So it did give that press early, the push to 64,000. So Bitcoin made a high at 64,000, and Mara made a lower high. So it was already turning and not getting toward the top. And you can see this on the daily chart, actually. The trouble that Mara's been having with this level, that's going to be some kind of a breakout if it can ever take out 17 bucks. But everything above 16 and 16.5 has been a short on Mara. If Bitcoin doesn't break 64,000, I got to feel like this is going to be a short opportunity. If we don't get a chance off the lower high, then a breakdown through VWAP looks like it will be the play for now. I'm on VWAP for ARM. It already bounced off there once. I'm anticipating it can do that again. Intel is about to make its last push into VWAP. This bounced off VWAP the last time, so if we bounce off VWAP here, I'm going to quickly slip a bid in and try and hold through a flush of VWAP. The NASDAQ's about to test 20,100, where there was a little bit of a chop when we got there last time on the way to the upside. It doesn't look like much on a 15-minute, but there was some resistance there, and then we pushed through. So 20,010 looks like it's going to be a bit of a level. All right, Intel's bouncing off VWAP continuously over and over again. Some of these stronger names are holding the line at VWAP. Going to get some more out there and then see if it can hold the rest through the volume weighted average price on Intel. Still up 1%, that stock.
All right, so I lied. I just put another bid there on NVIDIA. I mean, that just came in and it wicked there all the way down to 121 and bounced off of it. The minute I saw that, I got some out, and I wasn't able to get out until 14s or 13s there. So we take another piece out, which is right where it is right now. So if you're rolling with the short with me, congratulations. But at the same time, I did take another piece out right there. You're more than welcome to do the same. You know, staring at this emperor, which has clothing today, seems to be a little bit of a dangerous situation. All right, let's go again. Oh, Canada. So right here, feeling more patriotic. So right, like 71.25, we just get that. Almost a dollar club winner right there. Comes right back in, right into some support again. We're not sitting down here to get that fill, but we still have a piece left on TQQ. Just realizing now, not just realizing, we still have a piece of this. This is like 1% of this trade left. I should probably get out of NIO right now, but we are at a level. I mean, my stop is still in, I think. No, it's not. I canceled it. Okay. So right here for NIO, let's have a quick look right back to where we shorted it. Good outs, good outs. That's my big out right there. We came back into VWAP. We covered it at 74, but now it's right back up into this level again. So NIO, let's see if we can do something here and short a little bit of N. Okay, well, there it is. Oopsies. All right. Put the order out. There's the short right there at 86. So we just got some more. We'll give it to 91s and then we'll get stopped out. 5.91 right now on NIO. If it goes back up to the upside, let's go on that one. Of course, as we play with house money. It's just so funny. The number one trade of the day, P&L wise, right here, on a single trade anyways, is Tesla. That happened early. And then the second one for me right here is NIO, which happened early as well. It's all this nonsense in the middle where we had lost everything. So we'll get it back though. You know, you still got to believe in who you are. And we just put some damage right back on the board here. So, you know, we don't log out or do anything like that. We stay with what we're doing, man. We just still stick with, you got to know who you are and you got to believe in your trading. And we obviously do that here. So as you can see, there's the short, man. We stay here. No losers here, no losers now in 2.5 hours on NVIDIA as we stay net short, but start to cover, man. Start to cover. We got a good cover there in the teens. We talked about that. We got a great cover on the TQQs. We're still holding about 40% or so of this NVIDIA trade and almost nothing left of this TQ trade. So yeah, the futures is what's got me going. If we do retrace back up to here, 20,200, then we will reshort again. So yeah, man, breathing a sigh of relief. We just made back more money there than probably, you know, we're happy with it. We would like to make more, but it put us in a good spot. So let's just leave it at that. And still red on the day, but looking to try to turn that around.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Stick with it. I mean, at the end of the day, like every single trade is just that one moment, and then you move on to the next moment. Like the market doesn't care.
No,
it literally doesn't care what you just did 5 minutes ago. It's going to do whatever the heck it's going to do in the next 30 minutes or an hour, or in this case, the next 90 minutes, regardless of how your day went, right? So I want to thank you at DPV and DPKVDH. Thank you for this. So Unity released a tech demo of their new version yesterday. Okay, so I didn't see that when I pulled up when I tried to pull up the news. So appreciate that story. Like I said, it did pull back a little bit, but Unity very, very strong today, up 7%. Pinduoduo, I feel like this is going to get to $120 tomorrow, and I'm going to think it's a reversion at that particular moment. And the irony, and we've been over this a couple of times in the aftermarket show, whenever a stock makes a bottoming pattern, more or less at the moment that a death cross happens on the daily chart, like the longs have been gorgeous in the last, like every time I look at one of these, it's just a gorgeous long. Like there is the death cross, which is the 50-period moving average crossing the 200-period, which some would tell you is like a very, very bearish thing. And look, obviously from a technical standpoint, like yeah, of course, it means the stock is not doing well and has been moving down repeatedly. But right after that happened, you bounced and then made a higher low, and then there's your breakout setup the last couple of days. Like right in here, it breaks out the consolidation, holds on to the 100. Today has been absolutely nonsensical. I think when this gets to $120, I mean, previous resistance, maybe a little closer to 123, to be honest with you. So once it's over 120, I feel like this is going to be some kind of fade. A lot of exuberance. I mean, Baba's up, all like Liado, like all those things are all up today. Probably not the day to try to put on that short, but it's getting to that point. Like people are going to be running to ring the register, I think, on some of these Chinese names because what an unbelievable run it has been. There was something else I wanted to get to. There's a few people. Oh yeah, it was GameStop. So in the middle of the day, I saw a bunch of chatter about GME potentially breaking out as it was nice little rounded bottom. I like it when this is going in the afternoon. It didn't quite follow through the move. They kind of had news after market, and it didn't break through the morning highs. So if it gets to VWAP, I do like a VWAP hold generally on this name in the afternoon, but it's not seeming like it wants to get there. So I have my eyes on a top break. It's like 2280 would be that high. If it's not going to get into VWAP, kind of a double top break looking pretty solid on GameStop. So that's pretty much it. I mean, ARM on VWAP, took some VWAP out on Intel. Let us know what you guys are looking at right now, because outside of GameStop breaking out the high, about 25, 30 cents away from it right in here, don't know that anything is setting up too well, certainly. JR Sun, Junior Sun, the Chinese clusters usually don't run forever indeed. Yeah. I think a reversion's coming in. Pinduoduo stands out because it's flying more than everything else because it had the biggest gap to fill. So then the reversion on PDD to me would be bigger than all the others. It's up 11% when Baba, I think, last I checked, was up maybe 6, 7. So it's double the move, probably because it got destroyed. Like PDD went 150 to like 90, like right quick, which is, I mean, it was only in 1 week, essentially, just absolutely flushed to the downside. Let's go over to the desk, I believe. Nope. Oh, okay. We're not going to the desk. We'll just continue on with trading. Yeah, it's all good, Ramin. We'll just get to that in a quick little second. So just one quick update. I am still bidding ARM. The plan of action is to cover this one at VWAP, but now this is now twice it is wicked 143. It's about to do it a third time. If it bounces off the even dollar the third time, there's a guy for 10,000 shares on the bid. I'm probably just going to punch out on the 20s. As a matter of fact, I should just trail this now to 143.20. It's not a lot of size in the bid, but 10,000 has been sitting there, and they can't seem to bust through it.
All right, NVIDIA falling again right now. Hopefully we can get that bid through 121. That's the 200 period. This is where I'm sitting at 120.80. We did talk a little bit about where that we had some bids underneath. So we're going to be at the 200 period right now for this. I was just looking up broker statements and whatnot just to make sure. Okay. Right there. All right. So I want to also go over the numbers from from real trading right here. So let's go call that now. We'll talk about who made what money yesterday at TIP. So this is trader information portal here from Real Trading. You can go down here and we can talk about this. Right now, the top 10 traders. So this is yesterday. Okay, so top 10 traders yesterday. We don't publish the data until tomorrow. So we'll see who made money today. Yesterday was pretty much a big jump right there. Someone on New York and NASDAQ was over $20,000, as you can see. All right, just waiting to make sure that we can actually get something going here. All right, so that's $20,000 there on New York and NASDAQ. NASDAQ alone, 5 again, 5. Look at this, nothing at all until we see blue ocean down there with Australia. So no European love yesterday, which is kind of strange. So not much happening there in Europe yesterday. As you can see, there's someone there, someone in Vienna, 956 coming through blue ocean. So there must have been some trading over off hours there with that blue ocean exchange. So congratulations, whoever did that. But yeah, not much to talk. Normally we go over here and we're like, there's this market and that market. But it looks like yesterday, Amex, NASDAQ, New York, Amex. And there's a little Canadian trader down there as well. So, congratulations to anybody that was able to make this list. So that's that. Now we can go over to Neil.
Yes, sir. And thank you very much, Sir Sean. And this segment brought to you by VinFast. Vietnam's leading electric vehicle manufacturer has announced its Q2 2024 financial results. Deliveries surged by 44% Q over Q, with 13,172 EVs delivered, bringing the first half total to over 22,000, a 101% increase year over year. Q2 revenue climbed to $357 million, up 33%. Quarter over quarter. VinFast's success in Vietnam is pivotal, driven by rising EV adoption with global expansion and new models like the VF3. VinFast aims to deliver 80,000 vehicles in 2024, maintaining its commitment to sustainable mobility. We like EVs around here for sure. I've seen a couple out in the wild. I was following one actually a couple of weekends ago, actually. It was on the way back on the weekend from my physio, and we saw one out in Woodbridge. Believe it or not. It's kind of random. Unless you're in GTA. You have no idea where Woodbridge is, but it's just outside of the city. But shout out to them. I did just trail. I said I was going to trail out of ARM if it bounced off that 143 again, and there it is. Like it bounced off the 143. Still can't really drive through that bid, so I got it out of stock. If it goes to 144, now it's making higher lows into it. So the first look, good. Second look, higher lows, doesn't quite get into VWAP, so starting to show a little bit of strength. Right, GameStop's still not really doing anything. That Novavax, hey, who knew? Maybe it's maybe this news in Canada is good enough. However, I didn't show the daily chart with regards to Novavax. I only showed the 15-minute. So if you look at the current top, it looks pretty good on a 15-minute. You're like, okay, busting through here, but unless you're long at 13 1/3 on that breakout up here, you're kind of midway to this 14 level, right? So you're halfway, and then 14 is the big resistance on the daily. Like once, twice, three, like 5 times we've topped out at $14 on Novavax. What is the short float on this? Probably still pretty decent. 22% short float. For squeeze type names, I like it breaking out a top. Like you're not squeezing anybody out unless you're running through a resistance level. And that's $14 here on Novavax. So trending into a 14 break is NVAX. So we'll see if it gets there. I'm expecting, probably some resistance at 14. If it punches through that, then it can really get some legs under it.
Okay, just waiting here, watching for NVIDIA. I mean, I'm hoping that it breaks this 121. Shout out to Mashworth there in the chat. I would, I don't know if I'd open my own office again. Obviously, I have to do this job first, and then we could do it else. If you want to know like how traders are trading after they've graduated and stuff like that, the most recent trader to graduate, I think we've had one in the last year, maybe 2 years, was Obi. And Obi, you can ask him how he's been doing. I won't, although I know I'm the only one that really ever talks about that kind of stuff. You have to just tag people in chat, and if they're comfortable telling you, they will tell you. But obviously, we love Obi here, and we'll continue to talk about all of that. And we really, this office has changed, right? So now this office is going to be a campus office. So hopefully, you'll see more people coming in back and forth a little bit, around and around, and like. You see behind us right now, not too many traders here right now. So, we're hoping to reinvent what this office does do. So, and again, realtrading.com, there's over 200 offices worldwide and over 3,000 traders. So lots of traders happening. And then Tammy said, look, I wish I could show you the amount of money that traders lost on that list, but we only have the top traders made. I can probably guarantee you that traders lost more like individual traders, the thing is that traders have stop losses. So like, if you're making 3 or 4 grand every day, then you're going to be able to lose 3 or 4, or even more than that. You'll lose probably about 150% or so of your stop. So you'll be able to lose more than that, maybe $6,000. So the losses as percentage of traders is greater because, as we've already told you, 95% of day traders will lose all their money. On a prop floor, it's really not any different, but at the same time, there's risk limits. And so that's why you're going to hear myself and Brian Shannon again talk about being a risk manager. And I think that's part of that gets instilled when you're trading other people's money. And that's what a floor like this does. It allows you to put in stop orders, take max pain levels, and then that's how you get it all figured out, right? And again, very, 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 very tough business. But once you're here, you'll realize, it's why, like, I literally, and I said this to Brendan already today, I was like, one day Marissa's probably going to divorce me because I talk about work so much. And it's like, I cannot really stop thinking about Trader TV Live, stop thinking about the markets and all of that. And that's how you have to be successful in this. You have to be all over this all of the time. And I think that's part of hopefully what makes me different, and that's what I'm focusing on right now. So I appreciate all of the questions in there, and keep them coming. And like I said, tag everybody, and we'll be able to help you with anything you want. But right now, the market is coming back to flat area. It's not really doing anything, is it, right? I mean, I'm hoping that we can come down. I think you already talked about 20,100. That would be pretty sweet if we're able to hit that level. So we'll wait for a 20,100 level.
Well, it hit it once already.
It did, yeah. That was a nice move all the way. Yeah, that VWAP.
But it just bounced.
Yeah, we got one out down.
Just a couple of there's a few questions in the chat that I wanted to get to. Mike, if you're not, first of all, if you're not in the chat to be able to engage in the conversation, hit the subscribe, hit the like and the subscribe, but specifically the subscribe so that you can be a member in the chat for us, guys. And that way you can ask questions. I saw a few on here. I wanted to say it out loud because on a prop floor, the question was, who takes a loss if a trader loses? I mean, you're trading firm capital, so the firm takes a loss. Now, if you're up on the month, right, and you take a hit, then your number for the month then goes down. If you're up a grand and you lose 500, you're now up 500. So in that way, like, yeah, the loss is yours, but at the end of the month, no one's asking you to, at a prop floor, no one's asking you to cut a check. That is not how it works on a prop floor. It is different from retail trading. There was one more in, shoot, I just lost it because the chat's still going through. Where did it go? Mashworth, so this month, how much are you up percentages? Prop traders do not work in terms of percent gain. Like in a retail account, you might say, okay, well, this is my bankroll, right? So then this is the amount that your account is, and you look at how much your P&L is versus that account. On a prop floor, it's just not a relevant total because you're not trading a bankroll. Like the firm is your bankroll. So you just have like your daily loss limit, which is how much you might lose. You're allowed to lose in a day before you get shut down. Some people like to work a percentage of that. And again, it's just not the same as retail trading. So you'll never hear a prop trader say, oh, I'm up 5% this month of your bankroll. No. What your goal should be as a trader, in a prop trader is when you lose, try to lose less than what an average day is. If during the month you have an average win of like a $500 a day, you don't want to have $2,000 losses or $1,000 losses in that case, right? So you want to have that be a little bit closer to 1-to-1. And every trading style is going to be different. There are some trading styles where you might win 99% of the time if you're an algo, and then when you lose big. You might be the other way around. If you're a swing trader, a lot of swing traders, which you don't do at a day trading firm, will easily have bigger risk reward wins and losses and might not need to hit 70-80%. They might hit 40% of the time, and their win-loss ratio is just a bit different. So all great questions in there. If you're not familiar with prop trading, certainly we can answer a bunch of questions about it. We've been doing it for a while. There was this IREN. There was another small cap running here. This IREN that a lot of people were mentioning. Here. This one actually, still doing very good volume. I think in contrast to some of the other names that have been bandied about that I've seen in the chat, like this is doing volume near the levels of what it was in the morning, which for something pressing in the afternoon, that's actually rare. Like usually you're tapering off on volume as it's challenging the high. It needs to probably bust the top and then the daily chart. The problem is on the daily, just like Novavax, it's right at overhead resistance. Do not like longs into overhead resistance, especially on names like this. So we're gonna have to stay away. Just heard something about Alibaba, I thought. I don't know if that was Baba or Boeing in my ear. Probably Baba, another high of the day. The Chinese ADRs are flying today, flying.
All right, here we go. Let's go. NVIDIA right here down to 121 O's. I mean, this is good, man. This is what we've been waiting for. It's at, oh, wow. Okay, actually, now we were always going to get something out at the 200 period, so that is right now. Let's just put a bid and just punch out immediately. Oh, we put in 03 there and do not get it, so there it is, man. You want to talk about a life of a prop trader? That is one of them as well, where you just miss your level because I wasn't paying attention. That's okay. It's at 97 anyways. I probably would have bid 103 or 4 anyways, so we'll see if it comes back in right now to the downside. Let's see if we get all of that printed. We hope that we do. All right, so that's that trade. TQs is there. NIO is, not doing much as it is putting your boy to sleep just a little bit here with NIO. So we will just avoid trading that one. It's our short is a break through 91. So if we do break through 91, then we gone on that one. So we'll wait to see if we do that. But for now, we'll hold that short. So we're 86 short. If our 91 bid is going to get out, then that's 4 or 5 cents with slippage 5 cents. I mean, if we shouldn't have any slippage here, by the way. And what slippage is like you try to punch 87, but instead you get 88 or 89. Excuse me, much more likely to get that on a name like NVIDIA, where you say, okay, I want to punch out at 21.30, then in comes 21.30, then it goes 31.32, 33, and then you get 5, 6, 7 cents of slippage. That can happen at key levels. So I don't imagine that happening at all to our friend Neo. We'll wait to see when that comes through. So it's funny because Neil said like you could win more days than not like an algo. So I guess that's kind of the style of trading that we're on right now. This will be my 3rd red day for the month. So I think that would be pretty good. And even then we'll see. There's still an hour left, but I want to put something on, but the futures have to come back up to that level, and we just missed that NVIDIA trade right there, so we'll wait for that. Let's go back over to the number 1 stock again. It was the number 1 stock yesterday. It's the number 1 stock today, and we haven't even traded it since the beginning. It's Tesla. So again, this is again, the life of a trader. Again, take advantage when it's there, right? Strike when the iron's hot. It broke through early. Everyone had a lot of momentum into the name before it didn't. We're able to try it again and get out. So keeping our profits, not all of them, keeping some profits there on Tesla and still keeping it a green stock for us. There's VWAP right now at 253. I think that could be a trade, but I kind of want to look short. But yeah, the market is starting to feel ways. That test right there, I said to Adara, nothing more important than VWAP, right? I mean, and I feel like I have to talk to her because she probably should get back to something like that. And there's the VWAP break, right? That's where we got out of the futures initially. And look at it take. Then look at this. It stops right there, like right on it. I mean, come on. So that was a really good level right there again. Look at VWAP early this morning, off the open, boom. So yeah, feeling a little bit, we thought this 50 period, respected that way, respected the other way. Let's just figure out now where the respect comes from because the 50 period right now is getting tested. So we'll see if it wants to take this out. We've already told you our plan of action. We are basically out right now of our position here on the TQQs. I'm waiting for a reload back near 72. Hopefully we're able to get that and then pie on my face because we had 60 cents on NVIDIA and basically just said no thank you to it because we weren't paying attention. We thought we were at the 200 period. But it's changed, my guy. So we got to put a bid right there now at 21 flat. So hopefully we'll be able to get that. I believe we will. Let's see if we can get some luck here with NVIDIA. One more push down. Give us that fill, and then we will deal with it after.
Quick little story here. The the gateway of accelerated innovation in nuclear. Okay. That's the actual name of it. Announces 4th round of full year 2024 nuclear energy voucher recipients. One of those is NNE here. Nano nuclear energy just spiked on that. And actually, it's pretty timely because the reason I knew that and heard it in the ear was through Benzinga. And if you feel a little bit lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today. 1, 2, 3, free. 99 trial on Benzinga. And rightfully, there's a question in the chat asking what the other companies might have been that got that grant. I opened up the article. I did not see them listed, but it was tagged with NNE as the story. So they are one of them. I just did not see the other 4 companies. It's possible they're not public. I can't say one way or the other on those. And Rivian Millionaire is. I have the stream for Benzinga in my ear, but I also have the platform up so I can search for symbols for news as well. Like I use it. There's a lot you can do with it here. Actually, might as well. Let's just come to my chart for a second. My screen. Yeah, like I have the news feed up. I'm also listening to it as well. So there's unusual options activity. If you want, I can check out earnings that are going. You can do screeners, so that'll be earnings. And then I have a screener in here for movers, and you can do that in the morning just to find gappers and runners and all that kind of good stuff. So it's pretty good. Economic calendar is going to be there. It's kind of like a nice little one-stop shop. We always talk about it in terms of the news that you get live because the context under which we're bringing it to you is, hey, the markets are moving right now. Like what just happened and what's going on. So that's usually what we say. But trust me, it's got just about everything going for it. I wanted to get back over to Unity, which is pressing right back into the high. So topping tail candle 23. Here's the lower high that it just put in. A little bit of a fail in here. I think looks like a bit of a scalp short trade on this particular name. So it got into that topping tail, looking for a rejection of that top a second time for a trade here on Unity. If you hear any noise in the background, they're doing some testing of the fire alarm, that's all. We have ours dulled out, so it's actually not that loud.
Yeah, there's no problem. Shoot, Michael emailed me something today. Now I can't find it. I'll have to find it after. Okay. I just asked him for another scan. It's too bad. I want to talk about it, but it's okay. We'll find that eventually there. Thank you, Michael, for trade ideas. So that was another thing there. I'm talking about Benzinga, but lots of different opportunities. Check out a link in our description for all of that. Okay. I mean, maybe the market just wants to go up now. It's 3 o'clock, so let's wait to see if there's any good opportunities coming in here into the close. Let's see if there's anything reporting here tonight as Adara has left us, so normally she tells me who's reporting. All right, AutoZone was this morning, so that's not happening. Aftermarket close. Okay, we got KB Homes coming through today, so that should be good aftermarket close. Progress Software. 2.5 billion. Oh, Stitch Fix there. Get your clothes ready to go from Stitch Fix. Yeah, that is tonight. So Stitch Fix coming through there tonight, so that could be interesting as well. That's it. And that's what's on your market recap show tonight. Not too much happening, but we'll wait for KB Homes. We saw Lennar and a couple other names recently, and then we just talked about Michael and whatnot, and he likes the XHB. So we can have a quick look to see how that's been doing over the last couple of days. I mean, I feel like the whole market's been doing something. But here we go, XHB. Yeah, failed again off of those levels. Looks like it's coming back into that breakout level of 120 again. The housing ETF right there, XHB. All right, just a quick update on NVIDIA. I'm now in the teens instead of 03. So stupid that we missed that. But honestly, we're just going to get out of a piece anyways. But just looking right here, we just broke the 50-period moving average. Don't like that. That's like a trend changer there. So obviously, if NVIDIA wants to head to the upside, we just touched 40, came back in. I feel like right into here is not a horrible out. So I'm actually a little bit lower into the teens. Hopefully, we get a flush, and we'll get that filled up at Pat LaFontaine. So hopefully, that will wind up happening as well. Dara did not quit.
Best luck when you're in America.
She is gone until Monday. So gone, taking a couple of days off there. So good for that one. I have no idea where she's going or what she's doing, but good luck to Adara for that one. 121.16 is where we're bidding. So if we do get a move down, good for that right now. Okay, come on, bring it in. Hopefully bring it in. And hopefully we can get even lower than that. We don't have any more bids after that. Okay, so here's a scanner that just popped up. I'm disappointed I can't find that Michael one because I wanted to talk about it. It was like a high of day kind of scanner there. It's not. It just would have triggered Starbucks there, not here. But we have a VWAP scanner as well, and that just got hit right there. So VWAP coming into play on Starbucks. We keep on talking about how important this level is. So there's Starbucks again, $95. Look at it on the 20-minute. Looks like it's pretty good. You're still making lower highs as you go boom, 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 one into there, one into here again, trying to go again. If you are going to short this name, you got to give it at least a here, 95.80. I don't know if there's enough juice to make that trade work, but I know Starbucks, we often get talked to about. We talked about going to Starbucks earlier. We did wind up going there. It started raining on us, but on me, but it was okay. All right, so there it goes. It just dropped off to 20 again. All right, you know what? I'm losing patience a little bit here with this trade. It's tough to stay short a name when, like, deep down inside, like, you know that NVIDIA, you know, if the market goes here, then you're dead basically holding the short, right? I mean, it was going up without the market anyways and just put the whole thing on its back in the middle of the day. That could happen again. So if we do go meme crazy again, I'll be able to watch it, which is why I'm trying to watch it. I saw it right here. I saw all of this. You could tell when it's happening. That's too bad that I didn't punch long. I was sitting here thinking about that too. That's why we waited. We waited for a key price. We could see it happening. We still read tape, baby. We might not read books, but we read tape. And that was the other thing that we've talked about over and over again. Understand where your edge is. And right now, I'm on edge thinking about what this market wants to do. So hopefully we do get a little bit of a pullback here and we'll be able to take something. But for right now, I'm just sitting in this trade. 50 cents in the money now, TQ 65 cents in the money, and NEO doing nothing. Maybe Amazon. I don't know if you're still in Intel. I guess I'm not doing much over there.
It's just hanging. It's trying to hold VWAP right now. I wanted to get to the super chat from SP Williams here. Thank you for the super chat. All right, first, Unity did just pull back underneath the lower high. I'm on the offer mid-80s. Pinduo thoughts on PDD. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe. We only ask that you enjoy the show, be a great member of our community, which is a great trading community, and there everyone tries to help each other out. That's what we're here for. But on Pinduo, just to go over it again, if you don't know, stimulus in China, they say they want to put some money in the stock market specifically, and they're also lowering reserve rates in the banks, so all like the usual stuff the governments will do when they want to revive the economy, and the housing market's been an issue, all that good stuff. But I think, look, I'm looking for a reversion somewhere in the 120s on this stock. It's just, you can have a move like this to the downside, usually on the way back up when a stock had been on this big of a rally, big head and shoulders, and a plunge. I feel like there's going to be a spot where, yeah, it's screaming for now, but there will be a little bit of a turnaround. Looking at previous support in here, about 120 to 125. That also happens to be the 50 period. If it gets in there, it's underneath the 200 period as well. Just feels like a likely spot where you can run into some resistance here on PDD. For today, oddly strong. It's not often that we'll pull up a Chinese ADR and you actually see it going after 2 o'clock. Like this, it bounced off 112 and is up at 114. Usually you're going sideways on Chinese ADRs in the afternoon. We talk about how if you're not already in a trade, like there's not much happening here. So I don't know about fading this where it's going right now. And juxtaposed, like I wouldn't touch it till it gets to like the 120s, I think is going to be the short area. You have BABA, which I had said was only up like 5 or 6%. That's at the highs now, up 8% as well. JD.com is also at the highs, up 13.5%. So suffice to say, these are all blowing through levels. JD in particular, this gets to like 36. This one just started going. I mean, Michael Moss was just taught. Yeah, but next time, well, he's going to be back on Friday. We have to find out if he put anything on KWeb. The problem with this move, it's probably a no, because everything gapped up huge. Like what long could you have possibly had? Unless you entered into long yesterday, if you were thinking about a breakout in the Chinese names, most of them gapped like a bat out of you-know-what. Like this was JD was at 29, we open up, and at the open, the stock's at 32. So you're already talking double digits at that point. So my guess is, you could have wanted the trade, but good luck getting it unless you literally put it in overnight and had access to the Asian market. So yeah, my guess is, he'll probably be looking somewhere to join. But yeah, breakouts pretty much across the board. Mid 120s, I think I'd be looking for a reversion on Pinduo, particularly there. And I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Like, I don't want to mean revert those, because when the program buying goes in and the government told you they're going to put money into it, you kind of want to get to a spot where it stops and then worry about it. Right now, the programs and the algos are buying them up. when that's happening, you want to stick with it.
First of all, someone there, how are you able to see sticky notes? What's up, L. Chlosky there? You can just go over to my Twitter or any of our Twitters and be able to see this. At Trader TV, Sean here, sticky notes posted every single day. Today we just had 4,000 people, so it was not bad. Yesterday over 7,000, so a little bit of a slower day there today on that front, but you can go see all those notes where today we had the 115 NVIDIA long. You know what NVIDIA's bottom was there today? 115.50, I think. 115.38. This is why I'm so upset. But there it is. So we had that NVIDIA long. It's just $6. There's Tesla 255 long. I told you that's the #1 trade here so far today at Trader TV Live, P&L wise. DraftKings, we can look at that 40 break. Why don't we do that? Amazon, I said we were going to go over there. Let's have a quick look at Amazon after this. And then NEO, the short, which is P&L #2. So that's where you can find them all. Looks like you got some messages there. We'll check out what's going on there. Thank you so much for that. And then what's up to Chill Vibes? He said NVIDIA is paying him off these shorts. Yeah, same. Good job, man. I mean, we just took some 08s there. I don't know. Like, look how this looks on that wick down. Like, boom, right in there to 08. Like, again, it took the 200 period. So we're getting lighter and lighter on this trade. I mean, we'd love for it to print us out and to be able to continue that flush down. But right now, let's just hold for that flush. No more bids on NVIDIA. I know I've said that. We just changed our mind because the 200 got raised up. So we had to take that piece, and then we took that piece because O's held. But now we can hold it all the way back. We've gotten out of a decent spot. Right now, we'll just wait to see if we can get paid back on that upside. Looks like we will. So we'll give back here 15%, maybe, or maybe 20%. We'll figure it out once this breaks 90s. So we did go short there. Again, we've already taken this trade once on NIO. Now it's a barcode special. I can slip in here and wait like on a Boss X where there's no line or something and maybe take a fill against this for 40,000. But 40,000 is not that much, man. It's 92 million. So if it really wants to take this out, I don't feel brave enough to sit in here and take big shares because then I'll just have to punch out. And if it breaks 91s, or if it breaks 90, then it goes to 91, 92, 93. There's too much size here. It's going to take it out. Then people are going to cover and panic, and I'm going to get punched out. So if it's going to work, it's going to work now on this stock. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Quickly over to DraftKings because we said we wanted to look at it. So let's have a quick look. All right. So 40. So again, could have been a good trade early. We had the Tesla break early. Since then, 40's been nothing. It was right there where it came back under VWAP, touched it at 40, then dropped off again. There's another VWAP trade. So no matter how much we talk about all these different indicators, man, this breakout, that breakout, head and shoulders, knees and toes, it's always comes back to, I mean, just look at how we trade. I can't remember the last time really someone sat around and was like, you know, this Fibonacci retracement level, I'm doing this, I'm getting out at that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Most of it is going to be support and resistance and VWAP levels and or any of these other funky levels like the 50 period or the 200 period. So again, understand how you trade and what you're looking for. And I hope that you're following me. I try to make it as simple as possible. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And it's not much. You go ahead, but I'm going to look at Amazon and see if I can get a read on this one.
Oh yeah. You know what? We forgot all about the retailers. I mean, Amazon moved, but a firm really took it on the chin. There was a retail number this morning. So the question, it was very so. Why short Unity? So probably went over it fast, which is fine. If you go to the 15-minute, now if I ever use trend lines for mean reversion, I don't just sit there and say like where it started. A lot of times when it gets to another key point in the middle of the day, like a bounce off of VWAP, like this particular case, there's a bit of a turn and then a bounce off 22. So to me, this is a new trend up. Like there's your early reversal trend and the second trend line up here. It made a topping tail at 23 and then held under the trend line. So I went short when it was holding under with a stop at the high. Like it's just like it's a mean reversion setup, right? Where I get in, I give to top, I'm looking for a pull. Like ideally, I mean, obviously it would be nice if it goes to 22, but generally speaking, wanted to get to the 22.5 spot, right? Like the prior high and the last kind of reversal. Like you see this little wick candle in there, the rest of them are strong, down into 22.5. So that's the trade that I like on Unity. Sometimes, some people, Sean was just giving the example of Fibonacci, let's just say, or moving averages. I actually like trend lines to try and find a spot to get in. Like if I'm looking for a fade or it showed me a top, I'll like trend lines just to give me an entry. Like I know I'm going to stop out at the high of the day. It's when do I want to get into the trade? And generally speaking, I feel like when it breaks a trend line, some people trail out on them. So why not look for shorts in that range? Rivian Millionaire, you have seen my walking boot before a few times. Come on, like I actually walked a little bit in the walking boot. And thank you, Ari Pages in the chat and a few other people have been really kind with suggestions for things I can do for my rehab. If you're tuning in, I tore my Achilles. I'm really close to walking for real without the boot. It's been fun. But that's going to be another battle when it gets there. So that was the explanation of Unity. Hopefully it makes sense to you. The other thing is now that's starting to come down. All right, I'll get to ARM in a quick little second. I'm just going to get a bid out on Unity in the 60s. ARM, when I got out of this trade, it bounced off 143 like several times. You know, it finally broke that 10,000 share order. Like somebody actually got filled and bought 10,000 shares, and it's still doing the same dance. I feel like if the market rolls over, the stocks that weren't breaking highs when NVIDIA was breaking highs are the ones that I kind of like for the short. If it can just break through, tank through VWAP, like I feel like this would be something that would have an outpaced move. I like the fact that Apple was relatively weak because a lot of ARM's up movement was due to the fact they're in all the iPhones that are coming out. Obviously, I don't think that's big news to anybody else, but still a buyer at that 143 for now. It either presses back to the lower high 44 or it chews through this and can break underneath. But someone wants to hold the stock up. Like this is the one that worked for me to the short. Intel's been a bit of a mixed bag, but this has been clean for a short on ARM. So I'd like to be going back over to this one if I get a chance. Noelani Key, ASTS. Good old Astis, huh? AST Space Mobile. Okay, I know it's not actually Astis, but this has been, it's on the backside. First of all, it's on the backside of the move, and it has been for a while now, at least a few weeks. But it is holding, it's holding the line at a prior high, which is a good, call it like 24, 25 range.
Yes.
So this is a $2 stock that went to $40, if anyone doesn't know about this. And obviously, like everything in the space realm, a lot of things have been going higher. Rocket Lab has been making rallies. It's a 3,000 price to sales, the stock. None of that makes any sense to me, and I can't rationalize logically how this works. But it doesn't matter if it can hold on to the 50 period. This is an obvious possible turning point. I just think it might break 24 and then flush like $5 or $6 on ASTS. So it's trying to find support level, but look at that downward trend. Lower highs into a flat bottom at 24. I'd be really concerned about that stock breaking down. 3,000 price to sales is nasty.
This is so dumb. Okay, there it is, man. Finally, we celebrate that as the flushy has now happened for NVIDIA. So there it is. Shout out Chill Vibes and all my traders there in the chat because, yeah, man, we're feeling pretty cool about this because NVIDIA, nice downside move. That's right. I think that needs to continue. We need to play that a little bit longer. There it goes. So nice move there for NVIDIA. We just take an 84 fill. So it's starting to come in again. So like we said, man, just stay confident. We talked about that. You know, you battle back, throw the punches, you dip, you dive, you dodge, all that kind of stuff there. Starting to watch Ted Lasso again there. So we're going to put up that we believe sign. You know, I should put that right here, right when new traders walk in, man. Just believe that right there. So we'll wait to see here as we come through. There goes NVIDIA, man. Flushy down there to the downside. So far, so good. We did cover our TQs, though. I was just thinking I didn't want this stock. I didn't even want to hold it. It wasn't a huge position for me. And I was nervous crossing above the 50-period moving average, thinking that, hey, man, maybe we're about to go long. So I just said, forget about it. I don't want to sit here and keep talking about this trade. We already got a great piece out right there when it flushed into this level. We already talked about it bouncing clean off VWAP right there, the futures. We didn't quite get there for the TQQ. Let's just exit the trade right now. Obviously, I was sort of thinking about, and again, this is just my life. Welcome to it. But it's like, if NVIDIA tanks, then what is the market going to do? So for me, it was like I was already double-barreled short with many more shares on NVIDIA than we did have left. We talked about that. We still had about a third or so left of NVIDIA. Meanwhile, we had like under 5% of our futures trade. I mean, honestly, when the futures came back in here into the 200 period, this was a bunch of good outs for us in the 40s. So we already took a bunch out right here. If you sort of see what we're talking about, right into here again. So in this, I guess it's 50s and 60s, and then right into here, 60s. That's a 50, that's a 38, which is kind of where we're at now. And then that big move down is 25. So, you know, we've already taken some out in this level. Not great. We actually got 50s out right there, but we're more than happy with it. Our net started to run because of NVIDIA. And then, hey, look, NEO will still be a green stock for us. We talked about giving some back. So not necessarily a chicken dinner winner, but we'll do the cow a little bit here. And so this is the other thing. We also, part of having successful trades is also avoiding losing trades. And we said when it was at 90, remember what I said? And I should have just heated my own thing there. If it breaks that 90, it was ripping. And that's because we had that huge size there, right? So once it hit that 90 size and did not start to fall back down, that was not a recipe to reload anything or anything like that. It got taken out and it just, like, see, a little bit of volume spike there, right? Takes out that 40,000 shares, probably like it was nothing, or 400,000 shares, I think it was. And then right there, 595 is where we just stopped. So that was initially what we had written down on here, 595 into $6. But, you know, barring some kind of a move here, I don't think I'll be trading NIO. Neil and I have sat here and looked at some of these Chinese ADRs into the afternoon, and they can get really slow. Yeah. So I'm going to avoid that. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on a second before I throw it back over. Let me just see here, because NEO, I wanted to see. So see that? Yeah, it's going to be hard to see. Can you guys? I need to get it a different color. I'm not going to change my colors, but yeah, it's not there yet. Okay. So I just wanted to show you down here at 95, and I apologize, at $6. Oh, yeah. It's that navy blue.
You know what the worst part is?
But anyways, it's only about 60,000 shares, 70,000 shares.
So and this actually happens to me on the midday.
You can see
like that particular color. No. When you put on like the blue light glasses, that shade of blue, like I cannot read the level, like that level. I can't read any of the numbers. Like I can see that there's obviously a chunk there, but like that dark blue, because it's blue.
To me, it doesn't make a difference right now, but yeah.
Like I can kind of make it out when
if I stare at it.
But with these on, so it is. And like I wear these in the middle of the day. It's just you know, sometimes it's a combination. I never had to do that in the middle of the day. I stare at screens for the last 20 years. It's the combination of the screens and then the lights that we have that are shining on us all day long. That you got to do whatever you can. Like eyes are your life as a trader until the day that you can. Look, man, if I can use the force to trade, that'd be great. But you have to be able.
You don't use the force?
You know what's hilarious? I every now and then.
Oh, good.
You know, when you're like, I'm lazy, especially now. I don't want to get up. I don't have my walking boot on, and it's like I want to get something from the kitchen. I'll just pretend that the force is going to actually work. Right. And what's hilarious, I've done that a couple of times, and Erin, my 7-year-old daughter, will say, "Daddy, do you need something?" She's such a great helper, and it's like, "No, okay, I can get it for myself." She's like, "We were trying to use the force." I'm like, "Yeah, it's still not working, sweetheart. Believe me, it would be nice if it did, but it's not. The market is starting to come back in here. So Unity." We got in on Unity. Oh, my trend line's gone. You got to hit save on these trend lines, which is a good feature because then they're just not going to be there forever when you do this. But if you're at real trading, like you draw a trend line, you hit save on your layout, and then it's there every time you pull up the stock. But if you don't, then the next time you flip back and forth, it's gone. So I just took some out there, 70s, and then in front of 2250 is we want our next out. Now I'm going break even, stop. Obviously, a trend line like that is relevant for an entry point, and high of the day is now gone. I'm not going to just move. You wouldn't move the stop higher as it goes further away. NVIDIA is going down, which is, I think, good for shorts in a general sense. Intel's still holding on to prior support at 2275. So it's lost VWAP, but this is as far as it went the last time we were short this underneath 23 at 11 o'clock when we left you. So if it breaks 25, I'm looking for the 60 level on Intel. Still got 40 minutes to go till the end of the day here. So you have a lot of room for this to continue to revert back into the downside.
NVIDIA's $1 in the money. Okay, so again, you know, we just sit here all day and talk about this position because, you know, we had put it on, we had talked about it. Hopefully some of you were able to follow some of this logic there. Even even when we were talking about it right into there, it was always 50 cents worth of risk. Our stop is 122. We talked about where our stop was. For us, it's less than 50 cents because we're short at 65s. But at the end of the day, our average, we were averaging it, getting it at 50s, getting it at 40s, 50s. Then there's our last trade there at 65. So it was 35 cents worth of risk. Now in the money, 100 cents. So a 3-to-1 or so. If you want to get it, I'm going to wait to see if there is more of a move down. And Ezekiel, you are right. These are gunners. So pretty cool with gunners, I guess. I guess that's a pretty decent brand name there. All right, Tesla 52. So Tesla just did the same thing, man. Bounced off of the VWAP right here. So again, I've always said this, man. This is the most important indicator for me. We got Brian Shannon on tonight. He'll talk all about the anchored VWAP and whatnot. If you have any questions for him, get ready for that one. And then Danielle Shea will be here probably until I just reread. She actually just messaged me on, I don't know, maybe she's watching. She just messaged me on X there, letting me know of her exact schedule. And yeah, she will be on hopefully until October the 10th. Might be her last day, maybe. And that, of course, is pending the little one's arrival. So we'll wait for that. And of course, I did see her initial email, but did not skim through the dates properly, which is
just in time. That's
yeah, that should be.
Isn't
good.
The 10th? That's Robotaxi Day, is it not?
The 10th is Robotaxi Day,
right?
So that should be a good one for Tesla.
Hey, I mean, that's absolutely perfect that day. Tesla also earnings on the 16th, but until then, the Robotaxi event I think is going to be a big one. Look, speaking of the Robotaxi event, I don't think anybody, just don't forget about Uber on that day. I know everyone's going to be focused on Tesla when they do the demonstration, but don't sleep on Uber, because if anything good for Tesla in that realm, you might see Uber go in the other direction. I'm not saying Uber is going to be at this huge high at 81, but stranger things have happened. If Uber is at the top and Tesla goes ham, then this might be a really solid sympathy short. Today, my biggest regret was not taking a sympathy trade, not trading the thing that is not going as much when NVIDIA and some of the other chip names were running. And I think that was a bit of a mistake. But on a day like Tesla's day, I think Uber is going to be a good one. It's breaking out today at the high of the day, like a host of other things that we mentioned. So no trade on. I thought Mara was going to give us something maybe to pop back into those mid-16s. We're running out of time for this to actually happen on Mara. I still like the short into the lower high, but with Bitcoin not really doing a heck of a lot, this might run out of time to set up. I've seen a few people in the chat say Hertz is running.
Because in Jalen, or?
Well, Jalen Hurts is always running. Maybe a little bit too much.
See what his O-line is saying these days.
There's been a lot of line injuries.
The line play has been horrible. I mean, how's Caleb Williams? Look, as a Packer fan, I mean, I'm more than happy that Chicago Bears are in a nightmare because I think we already have. It is the best division, obviously, in football with now the Lions, Vikings, and Packers. I mean, I
don't think the Vikings are that legit.
I don't know if they're legit or not. I mean, if they're winning games with Sam Darnold, then maybe they are there. But anyways, yeah, hopefully they're not. Let's put it that way. We'll see when they come to Lambeau. And vice versa. That's where you'll get the test.
I don't know what the over. I don't know what the over under is on the Minnesota Vikings on wins on the. Obviously, it would have changed when they're 3-0, but I feel like now would be the time to do the old mean reversion on them. I think they're at best the third best team in that division. So I don't know how things are going to end for them.
Right.
It's like if you look at all the chip names going to the upside on the day, which one do you want to short? Do you want to short NVIDIA when it's running, or AMD, or do you want to short Marvell, right? So the Minnesota Vikings are like Marvell. On a day, if they're leading outside of them having news on the day, I think that's not going to be the one that should go. Just trying to turn it back into trading from football there. Dwayne Patterson saying, look at EL. Actually, still holding on to Unity, EL, Estee Lauder. What are they doing here? Forgot to mention, Stitch Fix reporting. They're now single digits short float. I feel like that used to be. A lot of these retail names had much bigger short float.
NVIDIA is.
And are now smaller. Estee Lauder, wow, 7% and at the 50-period moving average. This could be a potential breakout. I mean, I don't know the story here, or maybe they're just running in general. But yeah, it looks like a very, very good look for Estee Lauder. But right at the 50-period double top action. This would be a mean reversion trade, but I don't know what's going on with it. With Unity, there was no story except for them demoing a product yesterday. Don't know what's going on with Estee Lauder in particular. You don't want to be blind on that, and I haven't heard anything either.
All right, yeah. Again, be careful with all of that, right? I mean, you guys got to do your own research, try to find out what's going on with all of that. Look at yin and yang, says Sebastian. Yeah, we know those ETFs, of course. The yin and the yang ETF, one inverted China, one the other way. So, okay, just real quick, man. And I mean, NVIDIA goes okay to the downside. So we'll give props up to Chill Vibes and everybody else that's with us there. Neil's got some good shorts with Intel and with Unity. So we'll continue to watch this come back in pretty nicely, man. And again, you know, the money that we made back on here, just on this trade alone, would put us on the leaderboard, but we have too many other situations. And the one name that we didn't talk about today was Amazon. And this was one where we got long early, and it was a great trade, right? Breaking that 194.50. Again, this was on year, I believe, yeah. So we had 194.50 written as a break long, as well as 192 dip buy opportunities. Well, when they both don't work, this is when you take the L. So there it is right here. Look at this. Nice move up there. We wind up taking 50 cents quickly. We got out of about a third of it, I would say. And it was good. I think we even got above 195, to be honest with you there. The high is 195.36. So a couple good outs. Then what wound up happening was came back in. We went long again at the 200, then lost it here at 193. So we wound up getting out there at 193, as you could see, a couple more, but we didn't get out of it all. We held some of it, a couple more out. So at this point, we were probably flat. Okay, on the stock, maybe a little bit down. Don't know. At the end of the day, probably down, yeah, because that's 194.50. Those are 193s. So it instantly falls down $1.50. So let's say we were red, all right, for sure. Then it comes into 192. So we start going long at 192.50. And the thing about it is this is real trading. Like, I'm here to tell you, I put on, you know, appropriate amounts of risk, and if it wins, it's great. If it loses, it's not. All right, to me, that's how we do it. So right there, it comes through, we lose it. We get stopped out there on the breakthrough 192. So that's another 50 cents. So by this time, now it's a disaster. We're down pretty much what we're supposed to be. Then we reversed into the short, and that was good. So we made back probably about 20%. Maybe that much on the short. But then guess what happens? Then it comes right back. We reload the short at VWAP again. It does not work. We reload it. It does not work. We get some out before eventually getting taken out there again. So we make back like 20% of our loss there. Then this is a pretty, I mean, if I zoom in, you'll be able to see it's not like it's a nightmare. Some wins, some losses. So that's a red mark. This is probably good until we lost it. So I would say that's probably flat. So at the end of the day, it was like this dollar here. Reverse dollar club. We should have like another one of those where this guy gets rejected at the club. And then all of a sudden, boom, that gets hit. So there it is, man. We got to talk about these trades. And I got to tell you that those are, you know, losers. And right now, I would still short this 193.40 area. But being above 193 right now, above VWAP, above, I'm actually trying to take this long, believe it or not. So I would go long right now, 193.50 on Amazon. Time running out, it's 3:30, but no Amazon, no cry, because we have a true dollar club winner. Let's ring the cash register right here. Let's get a slapper going on, and let's also give that hot dog cannon for everybody that rode, man. I mean, there goes NVIDIA. It's a nice move back in. We're now multiple below $1. We waited for this play. So, hey, sometimes we're pretty good. This is a good one.
Yeah, I love that trade to the short side. Look, I'm out of mine, and Oscarito had a really great question, and you're going to love this answer on Palantir. But first, Unity got to 22.5. So, and the best thing about these trend lines here at Real Trading is this is my 15-minute chart, but if I save it, guess where it shows up? On any of my intraday charts. If I have a 60 or a 3-minute or a 1-minute, the exact same trend line shows up there. You can see I probably could have waited a little bit more in the entry. I took the lower high instead of the actual retest of the top, but it just goes right back in at 22.25 resistance. There is my out. Whether it bounces from here doesn't necessarily matter to me. When I look at this afternoon, this is a NASDAQ. There was that one test of like 20,100, and then we're just holding an inside range. So if you get the move you're looking for, I'm not going to think home run when the market's not doing anything. So
you better
short,
be here.
We got the short 85 into 55. And the question from Oscarito was, where did I find the 36.50 on Palantir? So the easy answer would be, I was just watching it tank, saw it do this bottoming tail candle here at 36.50 and then took the higher low. Obviously, holding it to VWAP would have made more sense. But no, the answer is way more simple than that. So yesterday, Palantir at the open did a dip, and on the 15 you can see this wick right into pre-market lows. That's dark pool dumps at 8 o'clock, so ignore that. But right into pre-market lows and held $36.57, proceeded to ramp to $38.20. So from that level, they bought it up like $1.70. So to be honest with you, when it was reversing the entire move, like if the stock goes from 36.50 to 38 and then fails 38, where's the first place I'm thinking long? At 36.50, where it bounced the day before. Like, try to keep it as simple as possible, man. Like I don't know where the buyers are going to be. What I do know is that's where the buyers started yesterday, so why wouldn't they start there? And that's the same reason if we talk about, like I said, I already like 35.80 way more. And the difference is on Palantir, 35.80 is a support zone. See, like there's a support zone at 35.80, 34.80 was a support zone. But here on Palantir, it's not really support because it just kind of bounced off it on a wick yesterday and then held it here today. Support would be where there's like constant buying or consolidation, something along those lines. But just keep it as simple as possible. Always look at where the buying started. These wick bottoms on the open. Sometimes you'll have like double, triple tops in the afternoon. But that's all it was, Oscarito. Pretty simple look. Just go to a prior day.
Here we go. We're going to do some Britney, baby. We're going to say, hit me, baby, one more time. And there it is right there, going into the gates of hell. Shout out to all of you here that are on this trade, man. I mean, it's a big one right now, $1.40 in the money on NVIDIA. We said we would be here, and we're not going anywhere. And there it is, man. We were having not a great day. We turn our frown upside down right now. So there it is. Thank you, NVIDIA. Thank you, the reversion. Thank you, all of that. And we didn't have to have Obi on the ones and twos because, hey, this is how we trade, man. We look for those opportunities as well. So I don't know if Obi's gone, I think.
I think he's gone for the rest of the week.
Yeah, okay. So we got some new talent coming through. And of course, you guys know that we have, I don't know, is Joe one of the guys filling in the next couple of days? So I brought Joe on to, what's up, my guy back there, Joe, if he's listening. I brought him on to the market recap show on Friday, and the guy almost took my job. So I'm pretty happy with Joe. So we'll see more of him. He gets the stamp of approval from this guy. So we'll have more Joe coming up very, very soon. There's NVIDIA. Let's go, man. We'll props up that one as well as that's coming into the downside. Now $1.50. Ciao to this play, hopefully, anyways, on this downside. We'll see if it can hold 120. I say no. But we are getting closer and closer to being out of everything now. We have about 20% left as it continues to go to the downside. We don't talk about nets here, but we just did well making back what we did here. With that being said, Ramin, you tell me when we are ready.
What?
In 1 minute, we will have a update on something for you. All right, here comes NVIDIA coming back in right now. Yes, Obi and Adara are getting married. Yeah, that's right. We do have that. They loved those ridiculous puns that we always talk about there. The Adobe, they really liked that one. So yes, no, they are not getting married. Or are they? Or are they? I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't invited to the wedding, so maybe they are getting married. So
well, only one of us can go, so you can go.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to tell everybody I'm not feeling that well right now, so I might be sick tomorrow. What was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It could be done in the evening.
Well, I mean, it might be. I don't know. But
come on. Yeah, I just want to give everyone a warning. Oh, okay. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain network analytics technology is transforming care for patients not only with depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD, baby. With over 15 years of research and wealth of brainwave data, we're set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. This FDA 510K cleared BNA technology is here to stay and to supercharge your clinical trials and enhance patient care. Join us today at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on the NASDAQ as AIFF, and be a part of the next big leap in neuroscience. Ignite hope, one brain at a time. We want to thank Firefly because, just all kidding aside about how much energy we have and that we're on one and this and that, that stuff's important, right? So go check them out, AIFF. keep supporting those good causes. And we want to thank them for helping with the good vibes here on the show as well. But, you know, ever since we put these glasses on, man, I mean, the market's really cooperated quite nicely here for us. So far, so good there. And we'll just keep on trading as we go. So it's 3:34. Hey, you know what's a good opportunity to do right now?
IBM's got an early look.
Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly. So
that
perfect.
stock is
You read my mind, you know. So there it is. And then Firefly,
we've been doing this
IBM right there, 3.43 million. This has been a stock of epic proportions for me. I only really started buying this name like 40 years ago. How old am I? 25 years ago.
That would be impressive.
40 years ago? I mean, I wish I'd bought IBM 40 years ago for sure. But it was dead money for the longest time. I was really just holding it because of the dividend that it had. So I was like, a tech company with this kind of dividend signed me up. But it has had a monster run this year, man. Just continues to go. So back in here in January, 160. 220. So it's not, you know, it doesn't have the NVIDIA wings or anything like that on it, but a real solid mover here. It is IBM. And when I was looking at it, the dividend was around 5 or 6%. I would imagine that's changed now as dividend reflects current price. So I don't know what dividend yield. I'm not sure exactly what the yield would be now on IBM, but I will look that up. But IBM continues to fly high, no lie. And you know this. Ozan, you want me to buy classes for all of you? I don't know what that would do exactly. That's what I thought, glasses, but it does say class.
It's
I mean, you guys can pick
the
these
blue
up.
light glasses.
These are the gunners.
They're just for, look, man, mine are, I don't even know I have to look at, there's a case around here somewhere. I suppose I could find the brand. I didn't even care. I just wanted blue light glasses because I was getting headaches. So I just
I'm not going to say gunners anymore until they sponsor us.
I just bought the cheapest ones on Amazon. And you know what? I'm not even going to bother looking at what the brand is. It was the first one that came up, and I was like, I really don't care. I just want a pair of these so it's easier on the eyes. But we can wear them. I just saw someone in the chat talking about Palantir flushing, but not really. So Palantir's pulling back into VWAP. It's down 2.5. I suppose if you're looking at like what did it do today, yeah, it kind of flushed today, but nothing really going on this one in the afternoon. And it looks like we got out of Unity at the right time. I will say I am not going to get back into this trade. To me, it goes parabolic up, it breaks a trend line, pulls back, and it hits a support spot. Like, that's a trade. I don't really have another trade off of that. Usually, it's either I think it can trend into VWAP, or I think it can trend into a prior high, and there is your point to get into the trade. I don't see anything else other than that. ARM it's a little late in the day now for ARM. It's like 337, and it's still not breaking VWAP. So this is probably, if it does break VWAP, it's probably going to happen, you know, like after 350 or something along those lines. So I'm still just in Intel. It's trying to break down here. The way that it's consolidating, I'm now trailing it back into 2280. Like I can understand that there is clearly buying at a level on the stock right at around VWAP. Each time it's been a good short off 23. It's stalled out when it tries to go 1%. This is a worth it to look at for tomorrow. Like look at the daily chart on Intel here. Like this is once, twice, three, like 4 times where it's broken 23, can't seem to get through the first third of $1, and each time you've got higher lows. So we all know, I don't have a button for this, I have the flat bottom break, I'm not gonna hit that for Intel because hey, it's not at the bottoms right now. So higher lows into a flat top break on Intel at 23.30. So like I'm kind of hoping there isn't some overnight rumor because this feels like it is coiling to make a breakout to the upside. I don't think it's going to fill in the entire gap, but you know, it could go a third of the gap and that'd be a big win. A third of this gap is like $7 or $8. So if it goes a third of that, that's a 1% move. It's a 10% move, I should say, on Intel. So it doesn't really take much when a stock is down this far to get a really good percent gain. And it's setting up like 23 1/3. Could happen tomorrow, could happen on Friday, could happen next week. But as long as it's putting in higher lows, it's not on the ish list as much as it used to be.
Not on the ish list. Okay, yeah, you don't ever want to be on that list.
Well, I mean, the thing is when you have a bottom like this that gets put in on the stock, and then it holds the bottom and starts a little bit of an upward trend on volume.
Yep.
Yeah, like at some point, it's not like is it a swing short here this far down, or are you starting to favor the risk to reward on the rounded bottom breakout? Like the Chinese EV names did it. I think Intel has a good chance to do that here too.
Yeah, I just realized actually on October the 11th, it is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. I'm not going to be here October 11th, so October 10th you'll be able to trade it with me, the October 10th Robotaxi event. But will not be here on the 11th, as it'll be Neil and Obi on that Friday, October the 11th, not Friday the 13th. I ran into my neighbor and I was like, oh my God, like they're waiting to have their kid. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I was like, I hope everything was okay. Saw them on this weekend for the first time. They were out walking their baby, so that was really great to see them.
Nice.
But they were not disappointed. They just said their kid was born on the 13th. I was like, who cares? Is the kid healthy? What's the kid up to? The date's not going to matter. But it was Friday the 13th. And I was like, okay. If you are superstitious, watch out for that. But Friday the 13th doesn't really matter. When you get those babies born, do you
have any superstitions?
No.
Did you have any when you played baseball?
Oh, superstitions like that? Yeah, maybe.
No, I'm not talking about I
was trying to think.
Usually it's around like athletes around like sports and stuff. Like some people wear they have like their game socks that they would wear when they play.
No, I'm trying to think. Well, what are yours? Obviously, you have one here.
Well, I was always a very big. I wasn't saying it to just like throw it out there, but I used to always wear. I had to have the socks pulled up.
I was gonna say a socks thing. I was gonna say.
Well, like when I played baseball, like I always wanted to have the socks up. I was growing up. My dad loved Jackie Robinson. He was more of a cricket fan. Then he got into baseball, so I got really into Jackie Robinson when I used to read a bunch about him when I was in grade school. So I used to always wear the socks up like the old school. And then I would only warm up before the game started until we're taking the field for the game, my hat's backwards, like Junior Griffey. If I'm warming up before the game, my hat is never straight.
I like how you did that Junior Griffey. I like that one.
Griffey Jr. You guys all know. And what's crazy, you know the story about why Ken Griffey Jr. wore his hat backwards? It wasn't to be cool. So he wanted to always wear his dad's hat. And when he was young.
It's too big.
And his hat was too big. So he would just turn it around, and then that way it wouldn't be flopping in his face. And so it was a tribute to his
Cincinnati Reds, right? Was the King?
Yeah, he was a big red machine, played for the Yankees as well. That's an interesting story why Griffey Jr. would never play for the Yankees, and it had to do with how he was treated when he was a kid. But anyways, back to the market. It's 340. I just trailed out of Intel, which is bouncing again off VWAP. And look at this reversal candle too. It's not a huge volume, but it tried to break the bottom and then came back out the top. So I doubt there's enough time to short it off the high of the day again. And as I mentioned, I feel like this is poised to break out. The fact that there's buyers off VWAP when it does a reversion, a lot of times this would punch through. But I think it's going to be a breakout tomorrow at 23 1/3. The skip says they wore their pants like Bo Jackson. I mean, Bo Jackson
wore them up high? Or down low. I can't remember how Bo Jackson was.
Bo had, that
was a book I read. Bo knows nothing or something like
Bo
that.
knows,
Bo knows everything or Bo knows.
Bo knows. I think it's
Bo
just
knows.
Bo knows.
Yeah. Bo.
No, Bo used to have it all the way down. People don't know how great an athlete he was. I'll leave it at that. I'm dating myself, but that guy was.
You have to look that up.
He's just on a different level, man.
Breaking Bad.
Different level.
Okay, so just real quick, right now we did similar to Neil. I guess it's trailed out, but we just do our thing here. We get out at 120.50 for another piece of NVDA. So we took that out as it screams back to the upside. So we are very, very light. Now we have about that 10%, maybe even a little less than 10% left on board right now for NVDA as we take some out back there. So that was really good, man. Really good battle back for us on NVIDIA. I hope you enjoyed that trade. Again, Rivian there in the chat, again, just to talk because I'm trying to address certain things. I did not, although I think when I said go long Amazon, you're like, got it, long Amazon. So that would have been good. But I hope you're just joking. I was waiting for this level to break, which it's almost there right now. So all kidding aside, this could be that. I mean, now it's 350. I'm not going to take this because, again, I will get shaken out on 350 when those imbalances come out. But this, let's just say we could rewind and it was an hour ago. This is the kind of trade right now that I would be all over. And this could be a maximum. I don't even care about the time of day other than at 350. I know I just said I'm not taking it because the time of day, but it's right here. This is the high right there. Look at this, 193.35. And shout out to Mashworth. He said he wants more of me teaching. This does every day. Right there. So right there, 193.40 is right there. It's also the high right here, plus momentum. I mean, I like Amazon. I know it's down today. I know the market's up, so it's not relatively strong. Fine. So it goes against generally how I like to trade. But this break right there, I think that's almost like a definite go. Like that's not only is it 193.50, so I like the fact that it's 50 cents. I also like the fact that we barcoded down here at 193, holding out hope that if it does come back into here, we'll find some support anyways at the 200, at the 50, giving us reason to hold on to this trade. And I think you can get much more than 50 cents. I mean, that's 193.50. We've already gotten some fills today at 195. I feel like they're, good momentum into the close would help that trade. But also no surprise that we're also fading off this level. So not enough time in the day to take this trade, but like this would be one that I would like, man. Over VWAP, over, and smash. So that would be something for me, but not something for me right now. And then no more averaging into NVIDIA. We're done. That trade is done. Again, but if you do like it, I always love the 200 period. So you could definitely look what happened when we were dancing around it, broke it. Nice move to the downside. I could see some more dancing. But if it comes up here, you got to hold it to at least 2140. 121.40. So for me, a little bit too dicey with only 4 minutes to go until those imbalances. But what a great afternoon it's been. So I hope you guys have traded the Unity, the Intel, and all of these trades because they've been good to the short side, holding on to them.
Exactly, and that's what you got to do. Just get right back on that horse. I'm glad you mentioned Amazon. It's like the fourth time today I forgot to bring up a firm. And
Right.
Look, there was a dump city going on and a bunch of like payment retail type names this morning, and a firm did a V-shaped recovery. And we were talking about support and resistance levels, and someone asked, well, where'd you get the Palantir level? I don't know, look at where it turned yesterday. So with a firm, you zoom this one out on the 15-minute, like look at it dump, and then look where it turned. Just go back to last week, and right on Monday of last week, this was the bottom at like 42.5. Go to the week before on the Friday, and it broke out past that level as well. Like sometimes when you look at, and this is a reason why support and resistance is it's the most basic strategy, but it's also probably the reason why it makes the most sense is like it's not rocket science, and it gives you simplistic style trades, right? So if you want to buy a long in a firm when it's dying, it's like, okay, well, there's a good level, obviously. And the same way if it fails that 45 area again, which it was doing over and over again, I think that's an opportunity for some shorts. On the daily chart, however, resistance at 48, lower high now, and a bit of a wick above 45. I still think this is challenging these mid 40s, and I'm not convinced that this isn't still trying to pull back. Bit of a topping tail candle there. I just heard some news on TSM, but it's probably just an alert that
must not be working.
I think it's just an alert that it was at the high. Couldn't make it out. Yeah, I don't know if there was something new on this. There was a story this morning on TSM, but yeah, just continuing on volume through the high of the day. 4.5% for TSM. The 200 period moving average, everybody. Like this dipped is another one of those August 5th levels. It just dipped right into it, 130. At any point, you could have bought that in the next couple of days after. And then when it revisited the same consolidation level, it goes up 2 days in recovery, consolidation of 155. Where's the bottom the next time? 155. Supply zones matter in trading, and I think they matter the most. Man, this is a strong stock. Pump it to the upside there.
Pump it up.
It just keeps on going. Like, unbelievable. What is going on with Unity, actually?
Unity.
No, but seriously. It's like, how is it already back through the high of the day? So apparently, if I was really smart, this was a long at $22.50. It's already back at the high of the day. When this makes a curl off a strong upward trend like this, typically you don't break back out the high again unless something crazy is going on. What's the short float with Unity? Not that big anymore. 9.5%. Yeah. It's not even that big.
That would have been low double digits. That's pretty small. I thought that's pretty small, actually.
It's squeezing a little bit. This wants that 200 period moving average at 24 even. The problem with that, like I said, it's already running into some resistance up here, but strong move for Unity. Really should have at least considered the long, but I wasn't, so it is what it is. Hey.
Yeah, tough one. I mean, some of these markets have rebounded quite nicely here, so let's, NVIDIA's rebounded, out of Unity, out of Intel, out of all these, as we get ready for this imbalance to come through. Join me tonight with Brian Shannon. If that tweet is not happening today, right, Ramin? I don't know what topics either. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's right. Adara's not here.
The topics of the day, V-shaped
No,
recovery.
but I thought you always do that tweet that says, like, join us after hours. That one is what I'm talking about. Oh, it has topics in there? Okay.
Join us after hours for Sean Katina, Brian Shannon, trade review on NVIDIA, the chips. We've got Bitcoin cruising to 64,000 as we speak. So traders, stay late for that. Well, actually, what's funny, I was just doing that and I just saw down there on Sean's
I didn't realize that
63,974.
So what's IBIT doing?
I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, Bitcoin is moving to the upside. Look, imbalances come out in 20 seconds. I'm not unlikely to take a new position in there. I'm not taking Mara short into the 64,000, which just broke. So there we go. Bitcoin just broke. I should have been on IBIT. My brain just went to Mara for some reason instead of just pulling up IBIT. Breaking the high of the day. So equivalent, 64,000. It's around 36.5 here on IBIT. If you look at this, it's a bit of a double top as well. So, technically speaking, it's at a huge resistance spot, obviously at 64,000, but trying to punch through as the imbalances just came out there. Shit, I wasn't on it. Amazon to buy 4 million.
This is how you know that like people are watching the show. Not only did they like the level that I was talking about, but they liked it a lot. They're 5 million shares worth, as there's that level, man, 193.50. If you took it, congratulations right there. Maybe it doesn't matter what time of day, but I'm not kidding about that. But anyways, aside from that, if that comes to sell, which we don't have that early look, you know what? I'm going to task everybody out there. Like, if you can find resources that have an early look on some of these, like, to have known that Google was a sell, was down here at 162.50, it dropped all the way down 20 cents. If you had known that Amazon was a buy, there it goes, 193 flat, right up to that level that we were talking about breaking, and it gets all the way up to 80 cents there. It's tough to make an algo to sort of catch these because the minute they're released, it's like instant pressure. So by the time you're punching long, punching short, back and forth, all that, it's very tough to do that. But at the end of the day, good trading happening right there. We are still $1 in the money. This was $2. Like, we took this down 120.29. We're short at 121.65. So damage done already on NVIDIA, but it is trying to pull back a little bit. We have a couple more opportunities to get out. Let's just take this out. I just put a 93 bid. Maybe we're going to miss that, I guess. There it comes. Okay. I'm just going to now punch out at I punch out at 98. See what happens? I missed a 93 and I have to pay an 06 there. All right. We're almost out of everything here on NVIDIA as we just punched out, as it's really starting to go upside. So again, man, imbalances rule the day one more time. Amazon bid side, right? Going. NVIDIA going. I don't even see NVIDIA on here. Apple sell side going down right there. Microsoft sell side. Probably going down. No, not doing anything. Why was Apple just ripping there? I didn't.
I don't know. There's no.
Oh no, Apple's not doing anything.
It's a sell imbalance. Though.
It was Amazon that I saw.
Oh.
Yeah, so Amazon's the ripping, not Apple. So there it goes. Nice moves to the upside. The day's not over yet, but for right now, these imbalances are definitely taking hold. So that's the risk about doing anything into 350. I'm glad we kind of just saw that.
Yeah, like if you were, let's just say you were fading either one of those two. I like it at the high of the day. It's a double top on AVGO or Amazon. Like, you're running that risk of it coming in the other direction. Now, the good thing would be if you were trading that with a stop at the high, a hard stop, like us with stop orders that are not going to get much slippage on a big name like this, then at least if it comes out your direction, you win, but you've got to have, you want to have a stop protecting you in that situation. Otherwise, you're going to get absolutely rinsed. So, nothing crazy. The follow through on Broadcom is already done. Like, it went 50 cents and it's right back underneath. And with only 2 minutes to go till 355, usually that's a major pairing event. It's still 1.8 million, but I want to point out the difference between Broadcom and Amazon. 1.8 million with 12 million paired on Broadcom, 3 million with 8.5 million paired on Amazon. So much larger paired volume on Broadcom than you have on Amazon, which makes it a stronger buy in a general sense. I'm not saying every time that happens that one will always be stronger than the other, but in a general sense, that's why Amazon was a more significant imbalance. It's not always just about the raw number notionally. You've got to compare it to the paired volume and the amount of volume that's gone on through the day. So as you can see, Amazon holding on to the gains, Broadcom actually pulling back a little bit faster. And that's a decent explanation, hopefully, as to why. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. About 6 minutes to go to the end of the day here. Havana Woody's just said, holy moly, DJT. What, new low of the day? Yeah, it's not doing anything. DJT's up today, so maybe that's why you mean holy moly DJT, because it's this is one of 6 or 7 green days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, check that. It's more like 10 since the middle of the year. Yeah, so it's a green day today on DJT. There, we can say good things. I was long at the bottom, got out too early. We shorted at 13 even. Maybe it can put in 2 in a row, but it hasn't done that in a while. So I think I'd probably come in tomorrow looking at like 13.5 and 13 as shorts until proven otherwise. It was short sell restricted down 10% today. That's the only reason I was looking long at that bottom. Outside of that, I think you just go back to the well. The trend is your friend. Bit of a bottoming tail, but what fundamentally has changed today? The only thing that changed fundamentally was it was SSR, short sell restricted, so you needed an uptick to hit that bid. Tomorrow, I think it just goes back to trading how it normally would.
All right, so we're just minutes away now from a flip up on the imbalance. So NVIDIA stays a sell, starting to go to the downside again. So look at this move. I guess it just might have just flipped over to a sell. So let's ring the old register here and bid a 52, and maybe we get that, maybe we don't. As there's the sell pressure coming back in. There's so many strategies that we could realistically be employing here at the close. By simply watching out for these imbalances. There it is. So now we are out of that. So that's good, man. Good end of the day there on NVIDIA. We were uncertain of where those fills were going to come through from, but there it is, man. Good one there. We took one piece out when we broke there 21. We get another piece out as we get not lucky, but again the imbalances just flipped on us. So that was a good one. Amazon still a buy, and look where we are now. What's up, Kling Daddy?
Another one.
I hope you had that right there, because that was a Hydration Nation type of trade. We said this to you. This was a smash level for us. It's just was the wrong time. And there it is right there, 193.50. There's 50 cents to the upside, helped out, of course, by the market imbalance. But again, it's not a market imbalance. It's an imbalance on Amazon because the market is going down. So there it is, a nice move there. But yeah, so far so good, man. We'll flip it over, which was a good day. Not a great day, but a great afternoon there today. So we exit with extreme confidence. I hope all of you are doing well. We do have KB Homes, I believe, and Stitch Fix, S-Fix, along with Brian Shannon. So I'm going to retweet that tweet and get over on the desk.
I seen Magic Mixes talking about Costco. Look, only 3 minutes to go here, so there won't be any new trades on. I just can't. I'm trying to figure, the thing I'm going to be thinking about on Unity is, if you make a decision on a stock at a certain point and it makes a big move, then half of the story was right. Like, you had the right level to make a decision. Obviously, as you can see, we got up 22.5 and there wasn't even a red candle since. I would never take this trade at 350. At 357, but notice the upward trend that caused the reversion off the high, that same trend line is causing a bit of a top here. The problem with that is it could also just be turning because it's 4 o'clock. Earlier in the day, I probably would take that reversion trade, but at this time, you could just as easily just be blind luck that it's getting there at the high of the day and there's just people taking profit, and it has nothing to do with your trend line. But yeah, Unity making some power moves. Costco is a great stock. It's not a day trading stock there. Magic Mixes, not for everybody. I guess some people might day trade the stock. I know I would never look at it as a day trading name. A lot of these retail names did have down moves. Some of them recovered better than others. I think Costco, it's really just a quad top up here. So every time it's gotten to about 915, 920, you've seen the reversion on this name. It's very, very obvious here that it hasn't been able to punch through that high just yet. It gets to the top and a bit of a reversion here on Costco. About 2 minutes to go. Apparently, a firm got green today. Unbelievable. Or almost. Not quite. It might have ticked. I guess it did tick green almost exactly. 44.67 was the high. Unbelievable rally on a firm from the bottom. And if you think, you could never have that bottom, I'll kick myself, because this was better than the support on Palantir at 36.5. You just had to zoom it a little bit more out, and you could see there's one spot that made sense once it lost 43.30. And the funny thing about it, see that prior support at 43.30? Zoom it in. 43.30, bounce, rejection of the prior support when we went back in the 15-minute, retest, bounce off the actual low. So you could have the bounce off the low or the breakout of that 43.30 level for reversion. Again, 43.30, I could draw a line in there to make it make it make even more sense. This is why I like support and resistance. It just sets up the trade. And it gives you multiple trades. There, and then right in here, twice. There's your channel. Key levels down here, clear, 43.30, 42.40, and those were double barrel action. You could have had short to there, breakout, support, and then up into the top. Wish we'd been looking at a firm. That's about as clean as it gets for a technical trade. Only about 30 seconds to go. I don't know who's going to ring the bell, so I might just do that issue. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Andre's going to ring the bell in here. I'd have gotten up and just maybe thrown something at it like I did before. But I don't really have anything in the vicinity. No, it's all good. You can do it, Andre. I have to throw my brute. Ramin, I would have to take the boot off, which I'm not doing in the next 10 seconds. It actually takes a hot minute to get the air cast off there. But the countdown is on. It is the end of a hot Tuesday in the market, and the bell brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health. Ring it in 2 and 1. There we go. Big shout out to Andre. Fabian's still under the weather a little bit. Ramin doing a great job on the 1s and 2 all day long. Thank you very much there, Ramin, making us look and sound good like you always do. And why is it fail? I don't know, whatever. She just feels like hitting the fail every now and then. Even when I'm complimenting Ramin, which I'm always nice to Ramin. That's a Sharif thing. I don't know why he would want to be mean to a person that is so kind. But shout out to the Midday, of course, with Sharif. ADR is going to be off for a few days, so we're going to have some surprises for you guys filling in, and I think you're going to enjoy a lot of those, so make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. The market ended up going green, NASDAQ about half a point there in the ES a quarter, but much bigger move than that in a sense from where it came from the lows. Like that big reversal in NVIDIA was very good. JetBlue making some moves in here. We're going to get to Sean in a quick little second, but yeah, JetBlue making some moves apparently there. No, not really. I thought maybe something was going on there. Yeah, so guys, you don't have to go anywhere. This was a pretty big and wild day, and nothing was crazier than NVIDIA going from a stock that was weak to a stock that ends up 4%. So big reversal. The dip buyers were back, and they were back in full force. Not everywhere, but certainly on those chip names. So sit back and relax, because we've got Mr. Katina. We're going to have Brian Shannon. We're going to have some trade review, I would like to hope, and hopefully you guys get some questions in there because there's a heck of a lot to cover. Let's get on to the market recap at the desk.
Sorry, Ramin had me muted there for a second. Okay, so there it is, man. Silver up 5% right now. Look, today's day definitely carried by China. I just went to Brennan was like, hey man, the VIX is only at 14. And I'm like, I know, trust me, I'm sitting here battling these markets all day. But you know what VIX went upside right now today? Well, actually what it came in was KWEB. Nice move there, up 10% for China. FXI, nice move up right now today. I have the Benzinga in my ear right now. Okay, CRM just made a deal to acquire somebody, but not a big deal again. We'll go over here, flip it over into the 15-minute chart right now. Let's get that going on CRM to see if there's any sort of a deal happening for them. No, there is not right here. Let's put this over to a 1-minute chart. Thank you so much for joining. We'll have Brian Shannon of Anchored VWAP fame coming through momentarily. And then I saw some tweets that he made today selling some of his positions. So we'll talk to him all about that. In what felt like a little bit of a day today, it wasn't really, man. If we're going to cross over the markets here, look at the daily chart for the NASDAQ. NASDAQ today up 0.47 and just hanging out. This looks like a great opportunity to break longer. Hey, man, what happened to September being a negative month? I mean, is it? It is not. It's a huge move up right now for September. Is it a huge move? I don't know. This first red candle is where we started, 473 on the NASDAQ right here. Today, 485. Can we stay green? That could be a poll. Can we stay green the month of September? We will wait to see if that does come in. All right, uranium upside today. Interest sensitive. Oh, man. Do not ever have Michael Noss on with me ever again, because he told me that this was a level that I told him to buy URA at $25. It's now at $29. 10% in the money now on URA. but I didn't buy it, so that's why I don't ever have them on. But that's a good call right there, 25 up to 29, now at the 200 period. Good little move there for uranium. I mean, what hit today? We had weaker numbers early, so if you're gonna look at the QQQs just coming through right now, let's go to a 3-minute chart. I don't expect too much to be happening right now in the market here after hours. We have KB Homes coming. I don't believe that's till 20 after 4. So we can wait for them. If anything hits, I do have the Benzinga Pro platform in my ear. But there it comes in, again, early 10 o'clock. Nice move back down in on the NASDAQ before making that bottom, and what a bottom it was. Look at that epic move back up. You basically did not even stop. There was some Fed speak today a little bit, but honestly, I'm not really sure what rallied that market there on the middle of the day, all the way up to 485, 486 again. Potentially uncertainty in the world continues to be there. We had President Trump speaking of that they need to get out of Ukraine. He was talking some Israeli stuff too as well, talking about some strategies that he would have implied or inflicted if and when he was nominated as your next or the next president of the United States. So that could have rallied. But you know what really the move was? Predicated by this NVIDIA play. We were scouring all over. What's up, Copycare team? He's here. We were scouring the news for NVIDIA, but it just climbed there midday, right? As opposed to a stock like Apple. You know, climb, yes, it had to follow the market, but an extreme move like what we saw, this is a $226 name. It's not supposed to move in the way that NVIDIA, which is only a $120 name, that name moves straight up $6 there in the middle of the day. And we're like, what's up with that? Well, I don't know what's up with that. What happened to AMD today again? Straight upside as well as some of these chip names come in. The problem with all of this is you are now 2 days away. Today's the 24th, right, Ramin? Is that right? Yes. Tomorrow is Micron, the 25th. So you have one more day of trade and then Micron earnings coming through. So there it is right there. Short float of 3%, change up 10%. Micron not doing great on the year, but has been doing great as of late. This is a nervous Nancy spot here for me. Not Nancy Pelosi. We wouldn't be nervous if we had her portfolio, but nervous about breaking back down below this 85 mark. So we will find out if Micron can hold this level heading into earnings. Stay tuned. We're going to ask Brian his thoughts. I'm going to take a drink. Nice sweater. Do you normally wear that green one or no? All right, $85 coming into play for Micron right there. That's like the equivalent of like a commercial break. You know, I'm drinking the water. Gotta take a break for 5 seconds. What about gold? You know, where they say everything gold right now. Damn, gold. I'm actually in Barrick Gold, which is not doing the same type of thing. We had bought this in this kind of a situation down here when we were sort of back and forth earlier on in the year, earlier on in the summer, back and forth. I thought we would buy gold, which is Barrick Gold. They do have a dividend as well. This is a gold miner stock. As you can see, this name also treating quite well. Nice upside move. There it is, earnings October 31st, or well away from that. Barrick Gold, some nice upside moves as well. What are they up so far this year? Only up 13%. It looks like we got Stitch Fixes out now. So we'll see what's happening with Stitch Fix. Let's flip it over into This is only a $3 stock on Stitch Fix. I thought this was a lot higher than that, but no. It's $5 top. Right now taking down the 200 million. Just heard the numbers in my ear, 318 million. But there it is right there, dropping below the 200 period, now breaking through $3. Is that next play? We'll see. You thought this gap was not going to get filled, but it may not. Right there, 312 is that gap area right there for Stitch Fix. I'm going to look over and give you those numbers right now. We are sponsored by Benzinga Pro. So let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Too much. Zoom in. Now it's not even working. Now it's 20. Okay. Slow down there. Okay, slow down. There it is. Right here, Stitch Fix. Let's just click on the name here. We'll have to log back in. We've done something here. So we'll get that back in for Stitch Fix. But right now, as it loads up, I'll give you those numbers. We're just trying to zoom in to give you an idea. Now Benzinga is not loading. Okay, here it comes in. Give me a second. Here it is on the news. So here's Stitch Fix right here. Sees 1.1 billion to 1.16 billion. Q1 revenue 303 to 310. That was versus that 318 number that I heard. So here it is right here. Stitch Fix. Let's get rid of this so you don't need to see the chat. Stitch Fix Q4 gap. Oh man, things are just changing here so fast. Right there. Misses 19 cents. So they minus 29 cents versus minus 19. We'll get there eventually on Stitch Fix. So missing on both the top and the bottom line. So let's now quick have a look at the daily. You're trying to hold 312. It looks like we're back into 312 right now, down to 314. So that's a level right now. And why are we looking at 312? Well, there it is right there. Watch out below. We should write this one down right now for tomorrow. We hit Rivian. Remember when Rivian lost the bottom there as well? Right here, how good of a trade that was back in. We took almost $1 on that full position. It might have been more than that. There's that break, right? Look at this. How similar does this look, everybody? Stitch Fix to Rivian. Look at that gap up, held it and went, right? Lost it, gap back in, fill. Here's Stitch Fix as well, same type of thing. There's the gap up. Let's see if we hold this level. If it doesn't, tomorrow we hit Stitch Fix short, okay? Let's try to remember that one as much as we can. Someone just said, yo, a firm just dropped at Neil Roberts. Neil Roberts, see you later. He's out of here right now. But we can look at a firm right now to see if there is any news on a firm, and there is not. So a firm, a nice upside move. Got me to look. So thank you there, Bora Hout, on that one. A firm's not doing anything right now. Wow, copper. We had Michael on today. We talked about, yesterday. We talked about some of the bull cases for China. We knew that metals would have to go. Brendan this morning talked about lithium making a move upside today. So does copper. Copper right now up nicely. Let's check out what it looks like on the daily chart. Also a possible breakout to the upside on copper happening right now. There's the other metal ETF, XME, metals and mining, more upside. And again, China comes out today with stimulus package, right? They came in, they're trying to sort of curb some of the selling. We know there's weak sauce over there on the housing market and consumer confidence. It's so bad that they're not even releasing numbers anymore in China. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. Check out what's on the top right now of our stream. We have that streaming news. Make sure you can double check that, see if there's any hot stories coming through. And of course, at the bottom, we'll talk all about our upcoming guests, any of our sponsors. And then to the right side of the screen right now, especially when it's a full screen, you can see all of these ETFs here, what's been moving around. To the downside, actually, some traders looking at gas, nat gas specifically. It's been a very dangerous trade, UNG. We can zoom back out to a weekly chart and just show you how destructive this name has been. But no matter how bad a chart looks, there's always some upside opportunity. Again, you're not even spoiled yet. You can get up into 70 on RSI. If we do that, watch out for this 200 take. I know there's some traders in here looking at this trade, and I have a trade for you right now. This first idea, I believe, and I know on this show, I give our guest a lot of credit because it is due. I believe, and Brian, when he comes on, can double check this, but SMR was a stock that we were looking at off of its IPO. We dropped an anchor. Let me just drop this into a weekly chart here because, again, it goes back. Yeah, so that is what it was. So if I drop an anchor, I'm pretty sure this was the name. It was either Brian or Michael that was talking about this name right here. Let me just put an anchor on its IPO weekly chart there. So there it is. So yeah, so we just took that out at $8. This is right. I like SMR actually. On a weekly, it looks fine. But on a daily, I thought this was starting to break out a little bit. So there it is right there. What a smash there, 20% up since taking down that $10 level. So SMR looking real good, man. This is new scale power. We talked about, again today, lithium in talks, uranium on everyone's mind. Lithium, they just had that plant that was for Microsoft that they've brought back for power, nuclear power. So we're gonna find out there again if SMR has sort of the oomph to push forward. You can also get CCJ. That's another one. Cameco is another stock that can go. If you check out the chart here, this is already starting to break higher as well. CCJ, but uranium right there up 3% today, the uranium ETF. If you don't want to take on single stock risk, you can trade into some of these ETFs. So again, not financial advice, but if you're managing your own money and you don't have eyes on the market every single day and you like sectors, this is what we focus on right here on our recap show. We try to show it to you all. Like there's FXI. If you're not in, wow, FXI, give me some love off that 200 period. $25 all the way up through $30. FXI starting to break out right now as well. China ETFs, here they come to save the day. I think we should fade these plays because I don't know about the Chinese government and exactly what they're doing to curb some of the selling there and some of this ignition into the upside. But look at Alibaba running into problems at 100. Let's see, but Alibaba, oh my, that name continues. Look, this is it on an island up here right now. Rikers Island up to the upside right there. Nice move coming through there. KB Homes is out. So I actually thought that was coming a little bit later. But KBH right now, this is a sector that there's a lot of people talking about it. It is your housing, home builders. Womp womp. There's a downside move right there. We'll hit fail right now on KB Homes. That's a down. Man, we have the best staff here for sure. Thank you for that one, Ramin. Here's KB Homes. Q3 gap 204 beating 202. Sales estimate 175 billion, just 175 billion, a little dirt off the shoulder there. Beats 172 billion. But what is the problem? It might be this. KB Homes revenues 6.85 to 6.95, beating again the estimate. So I don't know why KB Homes going to the downside. Net orders were flat with the year ago quarter. So maybe that's what it is. Variable demand across the quarter was softening in late June through July. So a softening housing market for KB Homes. Nice downside move. We can't be here without talking about Lennar a little bit. That's saying hold my beer. We do not have KB Homes problems, but Toll Brothers is saying we do. Down to 152 there. Before we get so crazy about all of these stocks, let me just go to KBH one more time. Check out what this is doing on a daily. Remember, these stocks have been hot fire, man. The housing market has been pretty hot with, again, you don't have to overthink things, all right? We know we're entering a rate cut cycle. We know housing's been an issue. We know the Fed continues to talk about housing being an issue. We know they're going to throw money at housing. Guess what? There's only a handful of names that you can invest in if you want to play home builders. KBH is another one. Toll Brothers is another one. DHR, they're coming through as well for a name. DH Horton, sorry, coming out. So that's another play. And then the KBH, if you want to grab an ETF, it's right here. $86 broke out, but trying to come back in. Before I call on Brian, let me see what IWM is doing. Oh man, this name just keeps on bouncing its head. And I always feel like if you keep on bouncing your head off something and don't break it, eventually, A, you're going to have a headache. That's probably true. B, also, you're probably going to the downside and may not keep on banging that top. I'm going to ask our next guest all about IWM. Man, I have too many questions for him. Is he ready, Ramin? He is. It's Brian. Let's go. Hey, Mr. Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Sean. What's happening?
Oh, well, we did not have a great day because me was caught in some of that early action there today where we thought Amazon was along, then it wasn't, then it was. Then we had NVIDIA rip up in the middle of the day. And then I look over and the VIX is only at 14. So it's like a lot of the time there's a lot of noise in the market, Brian. And as a day trader, that can throw us off a little bit. So I sometimes think about holding positions a little bit longer, especially in a market like this. Wait for your key levels and don't get taken offside. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, my preferred swing trade time frame is swing trade, and I dabble in day trade. So kind of the opposite of what you're doing, but both pretty short term still. My preference, Sean, I'm getting older. I don't like to sit there, and I don't have the attention span to day trade the way I used to, for one. And I just like to give them a little bit more time as the portfolio grows. You got to spread out your time frame as well, I think.
You're 100% right about that. I'll show you a good example right here. I mean, if you come over here, we had written down on our sticky note, 115 long for NVIDIA. How am I down on this stock today? When I look back over at the chart, you know what the bottom was? 115.38. Come on, what am I doing? We should be sitting there and buying some of those names. But what a move up in the middle of the day there, Brian, on NVIDIA, and it continues to climb higher. So let's just start there right now. NVIDIA, Brian's been basically sideways, I'm going to say, since May. I mean, this little number right here on May, we were at 114 in May. That's where we were today again. Pretty sideways action. We did have some dips and dives, but I think this name is stuck. Anything interesting to you that you see here on NVIDIA? To me, not really.
I think it might be coming unstuck, Sean.
Okay.
We've previously, I think, spoken about this shoulder pattern developing. And I think that, the thing that I've been a little bit, has kept me from being bullish is this blue declining 50-day moving average. Well, this is where we were 50 days ago, right over here. Let me clear that up so we can see that. But this was 50 days ago. So tomorrow, that means this data will be replaced with a new day.
Right.
And that 50-day moving average will start to flatten out and then turn higher over the next few days. So I think that got it unstuck here. And I'd love to see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow and then continuation. It's the buyer's game to lose, I think, in NVIDIA now.
Right. I mean, the way that name got going here today, sometimes I call it like, and I know you're not watching the level twos as frequently as you used to, but that just keeps rampant. When the buyers are there, I don't know if it's options, but those offers just get lifted and NVIDIA is gone. All right. I perused. We have a word of the day. Peruse is a pretty good word there. We have a graphic for that. Maybe we'll hit it. I perused your X account, and I do want to ask you about some stuff that you had posted on there. But first, I just want to talk to you about Alibaba. So I'll give you a second to call that up. Alibaba's been a name here that we just got that stimulus from China, but even before that, we had sort of broken out again. We had really held down here the 200 period and the 50 period. You're now starting to slope up. I know that's something that you've taught us here, sloping 50 periods, sloping all this. We got some nice smiley faces. Where do you see Alibaba? I mean, if I zoom this back out, even to a weekly chart, which is probably something that we should all do, it still, in my opinion, Brian, has a lot of room to go. If we can get above this 101 area, maybe we start to break higher. This, of course, was a $300 name in its heyday, stuck still below 100. You like any of this? For me, I think to fade China stimulus, but how's it looking to you?
I think that you're right, Sean. I mean, we've gotten past some key anchors here. And, I could see this thing north of 110, maybe up towards this prior band up in here where we've seen resistance up near 120, really. We've got the anchor from that high up in the 300s, and that comes in right now at about 125. These prior peaks were at 120. And it's, if they didn't scare you out over here, then they wore you out. And now we're back above the 50, 100, 200-day moving average. They're all rising for the first time in years. So this is one the buyers are in control. Near term, yeah, it's gotten a little bit extended here, and I definitely wouldn't chase it. This move kind of looks similar to this one over here. So you've got to be careful with that. I personally don't like to trade these, and this is why. Here, I marked this up while you were talking on the 30-minute time frame. All these circles are gaps, and it's just too hard to control risk.
Right.
The average daily range of price is $2.48 per share. The average true range, meaning what trades during the day, is 154. So only about 58% of the trading occurs during regular trading hours. So that means it's really better for the buy and hold for the investor than a day trade type stock. So for day trades, I think there's better U.S. stuff that doesn't gap every single day and you have more range. But right now, clearly there's money flowing into these. I don't trade them myself just because of those gaps. And I just hate to wake up and see a gap down here because of something that happened overseas.
So I just hit the bang there because learning something every single day, I didn't even ever look at that average true range intraday as opposed to its real move. So I actually really like that. And Neil and I talk about that all the time. Trading names at different time periods of the day. I think you might have just nailed something right there for that. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more research on that. All right, that word peruse means we looked through. And right now, I looked at this. Now, my next, I'm not even sure if that's what it means or not. But here we go, Brian. You had tweeted out here about XBI. You talked about getting stopped out of your final third here. Now, I actually, on this ETF, on the weekly chart, I was sort of thinking about this would be a name for me that if we ever broke above this 103, 104 area, and maybe it's the same thing that you're looking at, and you do explain all of your trades and your ideas, obviously on X and to some of your followers, but I actually like this name. Not only does it look pretty good for a possible breakout, and I know it hasn't happened yet, but I also like the names involved in this ETF. Amgen, Gilead, Vertex Pharmaceuticals, Regeneron, Biogen. As all of us get older, I feel like there's some need for the XBI ETF, and I think it's a runner here. But explain maybe your process, and I want to introduce everybody to your Twitter account because it's a great one. Lots of ideas, lots of fun stuff on there as well.
Sure. I've been looking like a lot of people for the biotechs to break out for a while. When you look at this weekly chart, we've been banging away at this resistance. And something you said just before I came on, you said, the more times we bang up against it, we're going to get a headache or we're going to, come back down. But the more times resistance is tested, the more likely it is that that resistance fails to hold, meaning that there's a source of supply there. And as the market keeps coming up to that level, it reduces that supply. So let's say there was 10 million shares offered here and they took, 2 million. So there's 8 million left at this point. They take 3 million. There's 4 million left. They take 2 million, 2 million. Now maybe there's 1 million left. And I'm of course making the numbers up. But notice how the time between these tests of resistance is getting shorter. What that says is the buyers are coming back to that source of supply on a more frequent basis. The time in between is getting less, so buyers are getting more aggressive time-wise. Also, we look at this and we see what? We see these higher lows. Buyers aren't waiting for a pullback to 80 before they take control, or 88, or 90, or 95. Instead, we're seeing they're getting more aggressive price-wise as well as time-wise, which creates this compression of energy, and eventually it should break out. Now, I look at it, and I'm ready to be long for a bigger trade as well. Let me go back to that weekly time frame, because I think we spoke about this last week. It really seems like if it gets past here, what is to hold it back from really getting up towards that 120 level? There's very little supply in here that's likely to be released from people trying to break even. So on the shorter term time frame, it's the same story. We've got to look at it and say, I got long here at 98.5, sold a third up here, sold a third as it pulled back, and then get out of the balance yesterday. And thank God, because lower highs and lower lows below a declining 5-day moving average, now it needs time to set up. It's similar to where we were 2 weeks ago right now, that maybe by the end of the week that it can do a little bit more, base forming, something like this. You get that 5-day moving average flattened out like this. Well, I'll get back in there long again with a stop under here, and I'll leg out of it a little bit. And if it breaks out this time, well, then I'll hold that, that piece and see if maybe there's a way to add to it for that eventual breakout that should stick.
Yeah, and I think that's something, again, very, very important. You and I always talk about being a risk manager. And if something doesn't happen, you can get out of it and wait for it to happen. Better to lose a couple points and then to get into something that doesn't break out, and then all of a sudden you're questioning your strategies. So good job there, Brian. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to wonder if you made a mistake here. You probably didn't, because mistakes don't happen too often, I don't think, in the Shannon family. But look at this. You said here today, this was the 22nd, there's nothing that interests you on the economic calendar for this week. But I wanted to ask you about Micron. I don't know if there's any interest in that, or Costco as well. I guess your answer is going to be no. But aren't we not interested a little bit here in Micron pulling back in? I mean, this has been quite the move back down into the downside, trying to base out again a little bit. I had actually, on a daily chart live on the show today, dropped an anchor at the year to date for Micron. So it was down into here, and I thought right up into here, I thought we were getting into a key level. I must have not, it was Costco actually, the year to date, sorry, my bad, that we were still approaching. That was down to 780 or so for a drop. But is Micron not anything here? I mean, for me, we just talked about NVIDIA, and I don't want to just always talk about semis, but again, a very popular name. If Micron loses this $85, I think that we're in for a nice whoosh in all of the semi names, because again, nervous hands coming with a report tomorrow night. Micron, maybe not worth a trade for you right now? We don't try to catch falling swords, maybe? Any opinion on Micron 2 days from now? Actually, tomorrow evening?
Yeah, I should have been more clear on that, Sean. What I was saying was on the economic calendar.
Oh, economic.
All those Fed speak and that. But the earnings, yeah, Micron tomorrow is an important one. So I should have been clearer about that. And in fact, the PCE is, I think, on Friday as well. And, the PCE, they say, is the Fed's favorite inflation gauge. But it really doesn't matter to the market, if you notice. The market trades, the big moves are on PPI and CPI, not on PCE. We get much more muted response from PCE. Anyways, back to Micron. If you draw an anchor here, drop an anchor off of the 2023 low, Sean, you can see how well that had held support. And now here we are testing it again. So we've got that going for us, that maybe a pullback to 85 isn't going to be the end of the world because it's still at this important anchor. But looking to the daily time frame, we've got a declining 20-day moving average. We've got a declining 50-day moving average. We're below the 200. We're below that blue year-to-date anchor. We're below the anchor off the high. We could get a nice bounce, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the type of stock that is ready to go sustain an upward move the way that NVIDIA is. And the reason we talk about NVIDIA is because you look at that monthly chart of NVIDIA versus the monthly chart of Micron, they're big differences between the two. This one just goes up.
We have, I like Micron, and I actually posted on in our show today as well that if it wasn't earnings, I think the risk to reward is pretty good there. Taking along in and around 90, using 85 as a bottom, stopping yourself out in and around that $80 mark. Give yourself, 85. Give yourself $5 for a possible upside. But as you mentioned before with Alibaba, when into earnings, you could gap one way or the other, and you cannot get out of your trade appropriately. The other name there, and by the way, Brian, you are 100% right. I reread it. There's absolutely nothing that interests me on that economic calendar, is what you did put. So one more time, he wins again, man. Who is this guy? Okay, so the other thing here was Costco. I noticed we must be coming up to 200 trading days on the year, because right now Costco, the anchored VWAP is close to the 200 period moving average. Now I know obviously VWAP has nothing to do with the amount of days there, but this also goes hand in hand with the year Costco. The only problem with Costco is I'm going to ask you, do you ever trade names looking at the historic PE? Because Costco is generally in between the 20 to 25 PE ratio for a spot. Right now, Costco's at 56. So its valuation is getting pretty expensive up here, Costco. Some risk on here for them. Again, reporting for a Thursday night, the 26th, coming out is Costco. I want to buy the dips. We shop there enough. Any sort of warning signs here about Costco?
Today was 185.
Okay.
So you're right. Those anchored VWAPs for the beginning of the year are very close to the 200 at this point. I just look at this stock, and it's been a fantastic performer. It still isn't an uptrend. Maybe it makes its move up towards the A, B, C, D move up towards there. It's just not something that right now interests me, Sean. I wanted to point out though that I do get things wrong. We spoke about the 40-year anchor in Intel. And if you recall, I don't remember, but I purchased January 25 call options. I bought the 20 strike. I forgot what I paid for them, but I looked at it and they're up about 70%. Well, I bought them over here and I sold them over there.
Okay, well, the idea was right. The idea was
right. But, to be right and to lose money, that's not the way you want to do it. So the point is, it just wasn't my time frame as well. I tried to take a longer term outlook, and then it started going down, and my risk management said, what the hell am I doing? This is stupid. Why am I losing money in a dumb company like Intel? Right. So I got out of it. And anyways, so everyone does make those mistakes. And anyways, 40-year anchor continues to be the champ in that stock, I guess.
Come on, Brian. You didn't know Oracle or Qualcomm was eventually going to, possibly be a suitor? Come on, we got to have our ear to the floor here. No, I did not. I think that took everyone by surprise. I think Gelsinger. Yeah. So I actually think with Intel, I think Gelsinger will be ousted in the next 6 months. I think there is some smoke where there's fire here with Qualcomm. Apollo Global looking to invest $5 billion. I think it might be time, if it drops back in, maybe we'll have a look at those calls one more time. I think there is a good opportunity for that. Look, before I plug your book one more time, is there any trade that maybe you're looking to enter in right now? We just went over the XBI. Anything interesting you or sort of getting your senses heightened right now? So next week we'll maybe discuss it, or anything you want to review with our viewers. Over 2,300 still staying with us late.
I got involved in First Solar today.
Okay.
I'm not making money on it yet. I'm down about $1.50, I think. But here's the daily chart, and you can see the anchor off of that peak right here had been resistance. I think we spoke about this before. We were talking about it over here, Sean. And as I always point out, the declining 50-day moving average kept me out of it. Now we have a 20-day moving average above a 50-day moving average. We're back above the anchor from that peak. Yep. And it looks like it's ready to get going. Now, maybe it's just consolidating here. It needs to push beyond this, but I got involved in this one today. I didn't write the price down, but somewhere after right around in here, I believe, maybe 245, 246-ish. My stop is under here. I raised it to there. So we'll see. Maybe First Solar is one to follow up on next week. Otherwise, it'll be a couple point loss. What else looks interesting? I guess, I like NVIDIA. NVAX is looking, it's still stuck below this anchor from this peak, but that's coiling up nicely. You were mentioning SMR, Sean, and then the NNE was the one that we spoke about. I think that the anchor from the IPO there has been holding that one back a little bit. As energy builds under this anchor, maybe in the next week or so, maybe by this time next week, it'll be ready to go. But I'm keeping an eye on that one, but I don't think it's a buy quite yet until we can maybe build a higher low underneath that anchor from the IPO and then push out.
We did have some news on NNE today as well, so that was a little violent there. I really like that SMR. That was a great one. Our friend JC from All Star Charts was talking to us about SMR. He likes that play, and he likes XLE for the long term. Oil been in a little bit of a downtrend right now. I can't go over too much more because we are past the time, but let's save energy for next time. I do like FSLR TAN ETF, something that we can get involved with as well. It's maximum trading gains with your anchored VWAP book, so everyone go check that out. Links all over on Amazon. You can go to @AlphaTrends. Find this out as well. Go see this guy plant some trees with our friend Brian Shannon. Again, thank you so much for joining us one more time. You have anything scheduled, any talks coming up, or anything you want to let our viewers know about?
I'll be at Stocktoberfest in Coronado, Howard Lindson's StockTwits thing in mid-October.
That's lifting up those pints of those huge steins of beer. So I went to school in Kitchener-Waterloo, and it's like basically the capital of Oktoberfest in our province here, and it was wild. Needless to say, school was second nature come late October. So Oktoberfest definitely hitting. So good. Enjoy lots of time there. Hopefully people can go check you, find more information out about Brian Shannon and his travels at Alpha Trends on X. Brian, thank you so much. Have a great week, and I hope that FLSR moons for you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. That's Brian. All right. Yeah, Oktoberfest in Munich, man. That would be pretty sweet for sure. Yeah, look, thank you so much to Brian for coming on. I just want to say, the fact that he talked about owning some of those Intel calls and then getting rid of them for a loss, let's go. That's what we're all about here every single day. We talked about how today we back and forth in the market wound up being a red day. That's what it's all about. We can't just sit here and talk, oh, this stock looks like it's breaking out, I'm taking it, and then when it doesn't work, we're out, and we don't talk about it. You have to be true to your risk management and the parameters that you set for yourself. So I give a big shout out there for Brian. More respect for that guy every single time I speak to him. So, hey, man, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls one more time. As Ramin tells me, Sean, we are well past 4:30. All right. Thank you to Brian right now, right here. Canadian. I'm trying to do roll call right now, All right, Bora Hout says thank you to Brian. So do I. Thank you, Brian, as well. I want to say thank you to everybody for staying late, man. We had over 2,300 staying there with us. It really held there. So thank you so much. Jay Haas, Royal Dixon, man. Andrew Chow is here. Michelle Muir is still here. Rich Naples is here. Andrew, yeah. Hey, man. Let's go. Next time I'm in Germany, then I will be hitting up, hopefully, there in October. We'll come through. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Raul? Neil Robb is here. Rondo is here. Justin 484 is here. Mike Breeze, Bears vs. Bulls. The main man himself is here. Dilawar Singh, Andrew Chow. Ozan, if I had the cow right here, I'd blow that for you. That did not sound good. What's up to Jiggly? What's up to the Piper? Hugh is here. Luke, LVMH. Oh, yeah. Sephora, I was actually listening today. We've seen Ulta Beauty to the downside. It's not a buy, man. Sephora's hot. That's LVMH. I'd much rather buy that. Palm Tree, good vibes. Thank you, Sean, and all that. Scratch Life is here. Christopher, Chef Joe. Thank you, Chef Joe. I retweeted some of your tweets today. It means a lot. All the support. Ezekiel's here. I saw you in the main show as well. Trust me, bro, says Red Eye Jedi. Hopefully, Mr. Andrew Rader will grace me with his presence again on our very fine show, maybe even this Thursday. The only way to check that out is by joining us on Thursday, which is in 2 days remain. What day is today? Today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is Saturday. Okay. Join us on Thursday. We do have Micron earnings on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. We have Costco earnings on Thursday. This show's going to be wild. Join my friend Neil hosting tomorrow. I'm hosting on Thursday, and I believe he's hosting on Friday, but I don't think we've decided yet. For everybody here, including the one that stays late, but she also comes late, it's Ramin, and there she is right there. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Ciao.